do the reset. Nothing yet. What is it saying? Hang on, let me just see here. I could try calling you. Let me just try calling you, K-Huck. I think that would probably be easier instead of messing around with this. I usually like to do it this way, though, because then it gives me opportunity to have other people in the call, but I can always just add them later. All right, so I'm going to disconnect with you, and then I'm just going to straight up call you. You can call me anytime. Let's see if that works. Hello, testing, 1, 2, 3.
Hello.
There she is. I could recognize that voice anywhere.
Hi. Hello, everyone. Hi.
Welcome to the stream. Welcome to Later with Lately, the premier place for degeneracy, hugs, and no drugs. No longer drugs. But
I love that. Degeneracy, hugs, and I love it. That's great.
There's a lot of people that, can be a tad bit ruthless in this community.
Very true. Very, very true.
We're
yes, I agree.
We're the nice kids on the block, which is probably why we don't get invited to any of the parties. They're probably like, those people aren't going to show us a good time. They're going to tell us how great we are. We don't want to hear that.
Well, you never know. We could surprise some people. We never know. So
that's true.
You never know.
That is very true. Blue Jays, I don't have permissions to send message in the announcement chat, so when you get a chance, make sure you say that you're live in Discord. I know, it's usually Soul's job. I don't know where Soul is tonight. Soul seems to be MIA, but that's okay. Well, I'll do that real quick. How is your day going, K-Huck? How is life? How was Christmas? How's New Year's? How was Thanksgiving? October? Halloween? I want to hear about it all.
Ooh. Okay. Well, I am good. Thank you for having me. I'm really looking forward to this. This is going to be a lot of fun. Halloween was awesome. Halloween is our favorite holiday in this house.
Same.
It also happens to be October. Also happens to be my daughter's birth month. So yeah, she's very much a Halloween baby. And let's see here. Thanksgiving was great. Got to spend time with fam and got to go travel a little bit. It wasn't anything horrible. It was great. Christmas was hectic, as it always kind of is. It tends to be, but you know what? It was actually pretty good. And New Year's was nice. New Year's was good too.
Good. What was your New? Did you have a resolution or keeping it to yourself here?
No, I don't make resolutions. I tried that like a while ago when I was younger, and I would always feel so guilty not keeping to them. And it would backfire on me. So I'm like, you know what? I give up on making resolutions.
Yeah, no, I totally get it.
Listen, as I've gotten older and as I've started to experience more stuff, I'm like, you know what? You're going to have to take me as I am, whether you like it or not. I don't care. So,
and that's how it should be. That's how it should be, honestly.
Yeah. Yeah. As long as there's people like my husband puts up with me and everybody else puts up with me, that's all that matters. So yeah, there you go.
That's the important thing. If family can't deal with you, then you're like, okay, well then maybe I need to. Well, then again, I feel like. Well, okay. There's two different types of family. There's a family that births you into this world, who's kind of just got to deal with whatever you bring their way. But then there's the family that you actually create with another person. And that one is, you got to be a little more, cooperative with.
I'm kidding. No, Well, most of my audience knows this, and I think that you may know this too. I've been with my husband, Mr. Huck, as we call him. I've been with him, it'll be 12 years.
Wow.
In June. Yeah. Married 12. But EG, I've been together with him for 15 years.
Damn. And you sound on the younger side. So did you guys meet like when you were really young?
I met him when I was 17.
Okay.
And he was 19 getting ready to turn 20. So he's roughly 2.5, 3 years older than me. So yeah, we met when I was a junior in high school, and he had just graduated high school.
Hey,
So,
when you know, right? You guys did prom
hmm
and wedding together. That's the kind of love that
mm,
lasts, you know.
yeah, it's insane. Yeah, that we are not getting rid of each other anytime soon. We both know too much, so we're stuck. So there you go.
If you don't listen, I'm not saying you can't leave, but just don't be surprised if all those little skeletons happen to start falling out of your closet if you decide to go, Mister
Exactly.
Huck. Yeah, it's not
Exactly.
it's not
Yeah.
exactly blackmail. It's black
Well,
love.
and the same goes for me too. If I were to ever try, he would say the same exact thing to me. If I ever tried to leave him, he'd be like, "You sure about that? You sure about that? You sure you don't want me to tell your audience about this, and this?" Because he would totally do it.
That is an advantage they have on us. We have a public image that we somewhat have to maintain in some,
Oh, believe me,
aspect.
he would do it. He would totally do it if he could. If he could figure out a way to make it happen, he totally would. Yes.
Yeah, I always worry sometimes if I make Miss Lately get a little angry, I'm gonna be like, please, like, don't go into the Discord and start telling everybody what we're fighting about tonight. And she hasn't, thank God, but she's
No.
always like, it would be a damn shame if they found out that you weren't washing the
Mm,
dishes, you know.
yeah. Well, I've listened. To be fair, and my audience knows this a little bit to a certain degree. I've ratted out Mr. Huck quite a bit with his shenaniganery, and because it's only because it's
Shenaniganery, I like
funny,
that. That's a
because
great
it's
word.
funny. But we give him love, and he knows it, so that's what matters.
What area of obviously United States, correct? I could tell from your voice. So what area,
Yes,
without doxing yourself, what area from the country are you from?
Midwest.
Midwest.
Missouri. Yeah.
Okay, Missouri. What is there to do up there?
Oh God. Not a whole lot actually. No, well, I mean, it depends on how you want to look at it, because what we're mostly known for, quote unquote, is like the Arch, of course. Mostly like the Cardinals, the Blues. We don't have a football team anymore.
Yeah,
Haven't had
that's
a football team for
how
a
the city
while.
go with that. Was there
Oh
uproars?
God.
Because I'll
Oh
tell you what,
yeah.
if they
It was
tried taking the Philadelphia Eagles from from Philadelphia, there would be riots, literal riots
oh
in the streets.
There was. There was. Oh, there was. From what I remember, and again, this was like 25 years ago now, because I think the Rams left. Oh no, it wasn't that long ago. Never mind. I was thinking of something else, I guess. But when the Rams left us and went to LA, there are still people still to this day that are still very bitter about that and are still wanting refunds on like season tickets and shit
Well,
like
that
that.
makes sense.
It was
Yeah.
a whole yeah, but oh God, I don't remember when they left. It's been a minute. I know that. It's
Well, look,
been
the Rams leave St. Louis and then they go to LA with the Chargers of all people. Like they both decided to go to LA. Well, like you need two teams, really, you selfish BOs. Um,
exact. Well, it's
and now
because
they're on fire. So,
yeah,
it's
right?
karma. It's karma. It's
Right?
if the Rams never went to LA, then this may have never happened.
Well, I think like a year or not that long after they left, they won the Super Bowl. I can't remember who they were playing against. I'd have to look all that up, but they won the Super Bowl, and let me tell you, St. Louis was pretty bitter. They
I
were pretty bitter.
Dude, that is just
Yeah.
like salt in the wound. It's like already bad enough that you guys lost your team, but then for them to win a championship in the new city. It's almost like if
Mhm.
you were in a relationship with someone and they left you and you go, "Oh, they'll see. They'll see how much they miss us when they when they
Mhm.
have their next partner." And the next thing you know, their next partner is like a freaking Victoria's Secret model or like a
Pretty much.
and you're just like, "Well, shit." Like it's like
Yeah,
what
pretty much.
what can I do about that? But
Yeah.
St. Louis is a great city. It's got a lot of rich history. I
Oh
will
yeah.
I will
Yeah.
say that I think it's funny that you guys are always like, yeah, well, we got the Arch. It's like, why should we come to St.
That's not
Louis?
it.
Well, you see, we built this thing here that it's like half a McDonald's logo. But I gotta
Pretty
tell you,
much.
you gotta see it because it doesn't do it just. Like I could show you a picture, But it's like you get there, you're like, yeah, this thing is pretty amazing, and then you go,
Half a
now,
McDonald's logo. I
now,
love it.
now what do we do? So we saw the arch. What else do we do? Well, I mean,
Well,
did you really get a good look at it? Did you look at it real good?
right, right. Well, it depends on like when you come though too, because if you come during the spring, well, wait, hold on. Spring doesn't necessarily exist here. It exists when it wants to. But if you come during the quote unquote springtime, is when baseball is going on, right? And we're very much a baseball town. The Cardinals all the way. So you can catch like a Cardinals game, or if the Blues are still playing around that time frame, which they sometimes do, it just depends. You can catch a Blues game. Sometimes they'll both play at the same time. It's a but oh god, let's see but where I'm at, I'm about without giving too much away.
Yeah, don't dox yourself.
I'm west of St. Louis.
Okay.
Is where we're at. And I grew up here. I pretty much grew up here. I've been out here for 25 years now. I moved out in this area when I was in the year 2000, Y2K.
In the year 2000, when we all thought our computers were going to turn on us, come self-aware, and then just shut off.
Yeah, exactly.
And then it came and went, and it
yeah.
was just like, well, that was uneventful.
Exactly. All it did was, it did nothing. Absolutely nothing.
I remember when that happened. My mom.
I do too.
My mom, we had this old Packard Bell computer. They don't even make. I think they're part of Hewlett Packard now, but we had this old Packard Bell computer that was still running like Windows 95, which is ancient in that time, because I think they were already up to like Windows 98 or whatever, and then there was Windows XP, but. Like, she was so proud of the computer for being able to make it to 2000 and not shutting off. She was like, I always knew that computer's always been a great computer. And I'm like, nobody else's computer shut off either, even if it's a piece of crap. So I always, for something about that story just always stuck with me, that I was like,
that's funny.
My mom was so proud of our old Hewlett Packard computer for not shutting off during the Y2K.
That's hilarious. I can totally see my older relatives doing that too, not gonna lie, but I think maybe some of them even did, who knows. But yeah, I remember all that. But anyway, but no, I've lived out here in this, like I said, in this area for most of my adult life, and even in like the beginning of my youth and stuff like that. So, but here, the only thing to, especially during winter, and I've said this before and I mean this, the only thing to do during the winter time is to join a bowling league. That is the only way that you can get out of the house. And
Missouri takes their bowling seriously, eh?
Get out of the house. Yes.
Do you guys say A up there? Is that are you guys close enough to like Fargo to be like, hey, good bowl,
no.
eh?
No.
Good bowling weather, eh?
No. We excuse me. We have some people like in the Boot Hills, like near Arkansas and stuff, that say, of course, the classic Southern saying, "Oh, bless your heart." We get that sometimes, but we don't get that. No,
I will say,
anyway.
the one thing I still see some. I started off this the video with my last stream's topic, which was Sam Hyde. And
Yeah.
I guess that must be still showing up with some people because they're still asking about, wait, where's Sam Hyde and iDubbbz? So in case you guys are joining late, that was my last stream's video. It's up on my Later with Lately channel if any of my mom wants to drop that, if you guys want to check that out. But I'm here currently with K-Huck. She's another YouTuber who we're just kind of catching up and talking. If you're in the chat, we will... right now, we're kind of doing like a little interview with K-Huck, and then we'll talk to the chat while we go over some topics that you guys want to bring up. But if you're here for Sam Hyde and iDubbbz, that video's already been said and done. I updated the stream, which shows me that it changed. But you know what? It's probably still in the description, so I need to edit that. But so I'll do that while I get you on your next roll. The one thing I've always loved about Philly, though, is that Philly's got everything. We're like an hour away from the mountains. We have that city life if you want it, but we also have, like, if you go 20 minutes into the city, you're center city. But if you go 20 minutes in the opposite direction, you're out in the country. Most people don't know this, but New Jersey is a majority of New Jersey's farmland. So you have that, and then we're an hour from the Pocono Mountains. So if you want to go skiing or anything like that, that's right there. And then, of course, we have the Jersey Shore, which is an hour away. So we have literally everything. And on top of that, we don't have to worry about like wildfires, tornadoes, or any of that. Do you have to deal with like tornadoes where you're at?
Yes, very much so. Yeah, I'm in the middle. Like Tornado Alley is here too. Yes, absolutely. And apparently snow blizzards and shit. Because we just dealt with, we had here in this and where I'm at, I think we got close to 2 feet of snow. Now, granted, that's not a lot for people that live in the East Coast, like in New York, and I'm sure Philly, you get some decent snow. I'm sure that's nothing.
Yeah,
okay?
we just had it today.
Yeah,
I mean, we don't get a lot though.
Getting like the most that I think that I've heard you guys get, or the East Coast rather, maybe more so New York or Jersey area, is what, 6 feet? Is that possible? Have you ever had that?
We've had, yeah, the blizzard of '96. We got around 6 feet of snow. But but it didn't all come at once. It was like spread out throughout a week. So at most, like I remember being a kid walking through the snow, and the snow was like up to my waist. So that was that was the most we've gotten, and we haven't gotten that much since. But now, and growing up, I've always loved the snow, but now I'm just sick of it because for my day job, if it snows, I have to go to work. So, which sucks.
Gotcha.
And a lot of times I'll be like, oh, yeah, sorry guys. It hasn't happened yet, God willing, but I haven't had to cancel on the stream yet due to snow, but I know that it's gonna happen at some point. So
yeah, I hear you. Yeah, well, here both Mr. Huck and I work from home, so even if we were to have a snow day, we still have to work. It doesn't matter. Snow days don't count for us anymore.
Yeah, no calling out of work.
Nope. Nope. We don't get, that's a thing of the past. We've been home literally since COVID.
Wow,
like
you've never left.
Yeah.
You haven't left the house since COVID?
Nope.
5 years going strong?
5 years going strong, damn it. No.
To be honest, the sun's overrated. I haven't seen it in 5 years, and I don't miss that son, bitch. Vitamin D didn't do nothing for me.
Right? No, I'm sorry. We've been working from home, for the last 5 years, which is insane. I can't believe it's been that long since all that hit, and it's crazy.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, for me here, I've been here, like I said, I've been here in the Midwest for most of my life. I've never lived anywhere else. Although I will say that I was born in California. I was born in Long Beach, but I don't remember anything about it. I don't remember jack shit. So yeah, there you go.
So you did live in California for a little bit, and then you guys moved out to
2 years after I was born, maybe. I was like 2 or 3 when we moved out here. So I've been in Missouri ever since. So yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I see a lot of people sharing when they go into work, and I work overnight. Fuck the sun. Yeah. The sun, I mean, I feel like the sun is important sometimes though, cuz I'm not sure. I'm sure it works similar to where you're at, cuz you're like northern wise, we're about the same area of the United States. And during the dead of the winter, a lot of times you're going into work, it's dark. You're leaving work, it's dark. And if you work, and I remember when I worked in an office, it was always very, very disappointing. And it would like wear on your psyche, never being able to go out and see the sun, because you were waking up, going into work, it was dark. You were leaving, coming home from work, it was dark, because we have that small period during the day. Now I work outside,
And even though it sucks, today was like 20 degrees with a wind chill of 10. I still prefer it. I still prefer it.
Yeah.
It's nice getting out, you know?
Yes, no, I agree. I absolutely agree. When we got hit with our snow, like I said just recently, well, part of it was our choice, the other part was not. So we didn't leave for almost a week. It was almost a week, and I was going crazy after that. I was like, okay, I have to get out of this damn house. I have to go somewhere. Grocery store, I don't care. Get me out of this house.
Yeah, the walls start closing in on you. And I feel like a lot of people love the idea of working from home until you kind of like, I don't know if this is true for you because I've never worked from home, so I don't really have anything to compare it with. But did you ever feel like, you know, that you just being able to go out and go to work and come home and having that routine, that schedule kind of like was refreshing once in a while?
Say that. For me though, again, because it's been 5 years almost, it'll be 5 years, like literally right when COVID hit in March. I've gotten used to it. I've gotten adjusted to it. I still get out. I still do, we still get out. We still see friends. We travel. We do this. But working from, it was an adjustment, and it still kind of is to some people to a degree. But I think that for me, because we've kind of made the most out of it, and actually don't let we still go out, we still do things. It's been okay for me, because I literally get up, roll out of bed, head downstairs, and log in, and that's it.
Yeah.
Whereas if I was going into the office like what we used to do, obviously like normal people would, we would have to get up super early, make sure that our daughter was dressed, and sometimes she wouldn't be. It'd be a whole hassle. I'd no, I'm good.
Did this happen? Now, I feel like this was the case for a lot of people. Did this happen during COVID, the switch? Because a lot of people, I think a lot of companies ended up like setting up everybody that worked for them from home to work, and they realized, wait, you're telling me that I don't have to pay a huge lease for an office?
Yep.
So I could just, and then everybody just started being like, okay, well, they'll just work from home then,
Yeah. For the first, so in 2020, they had like the non-essential people, which was myself and my husband, work from home, or just start, from home. And that did start, like, I remember this, and it sticks in my mind. The last time I remembered being in that office was the weekend of St. Patrick's Day, and in 2020, and after that we didn't go back for like 2 years, something like that. And but since then, that's obviously the company has grown and it has adjusted, and they've realized that they could save a ton of money. You're exactly right, by having either people work from home or people working remote, like in other states.
Well, most people have, most people have a computer that you just like, because you just got to log into the server and then you work off of the server. Like, you don't have to have a powerful computer to work off a server. And I think that they realize that,
True.
I think a lot of companies, though, they will come and set you up. Like, that's what they did with my mom. They came and set her up at home, and Lord knows, maybe I would have been a better office worker if I could work from home. Now, as much as I love talking about your personal life, I want to kind of dive into some of your creator side, if you will. When did you start doing YouTube? What kind of drew you to it? What made you decide the niche?
Oh, okay. Well, I've been streaming now. We're making content now it'll be 2 years in May, which is hard to believe. 2 years in May is how long I've been streaming for and on the platform, I guess. But I've had my channel overall since like since the inception of YouTube. But since I've had my channel, or my YouTube account, I should say, for like, oh God, literally since like 2010. But the channel itself I created and all that shortly in 2023. And actually, what's funny enough, The reason why I actually got into content was oddly enough through Xylee.
It all comes full circle. It always comes back to Xylee. She's always catching
Well,
strays.
no. This is a good way. This is a good one. She's not catching any strays. No strays
What
for
would it
Xylee.
be? What would it be called if a
Um,
good stray comes? We got to catching a zinger or a.
Well, she was a part of a. I think that you may have heard of it. I'm not sure, but she was a part of a podcast called The Broadcast. They've since had to end their podcast because of people's schedules got too crazy. But she was a part of The Broadcast, and back in January of 2023, she had put out a tweet of open auditions for The Broadcast, and they were gonna her and her two other co-hosts at the time were gonna choose like different people who they thought would be the best, and my name got thrown into the ring because I was starting to be in like different people's chats and stuff like that and all that, and so some people knew me because of like again being in different chats and stuff like that on my Twitter and all of that, and my name got thrown into the ring, and so I auditioned, and it was probably that audition was great. It was really cool. I couldn't have asked for a better experience with that. And so that led to a positive reception from my audition, and I decided to create my own channel. So there you go.
So you were already kind of interested in the drama sphere through Xylee.
It was, well, Xylee was a part of it, yes, but also I really didn't know what commentary was. I still don't really know what commentary is.
No one
I don't
does.
think that anybody does.
Because
Yeah.
technically all of YouTube is commentary. Like if you come on,
Exactly.
if I come on and I'm like, today I'm going to teach you how to make a cake, that's commentary. You know what I mean? Like, or I'm going to show you how to change your oil in your car, commentary. But I think
Yeah.
the way that I've kind of, and I feel like a lot of the internet have kind of looked at commentary as more of like talk show, more of like talk radio style, podcast style, you know, entertainment.
Yeah. Well, and for me, that was something that I had never really known of. That term I wasn't ever really used to. But my first content creator that I actually was watching somewhat on a regular basis, and then I found Xylee soon after, was Tipster.
Ah, shout out Tippy.
Yeah, was Tipster. And then Keemstar followed suit, then Xylee, then Kristen Ark, Dead on Dave, Peepaw, now recording, all of them came within like a couple of months span, I think, like in late 2022. I remember it right around the time that I was actually, being more involved in the sense of like, following the different streamers and things like that, not just on Twitter, but subscribing and learning what all that was. I'm a boomer, I know. I just, the first drama that I remember distinctly being around for was the Salvo Pancakes drama.
Yeah, that was well before my time, I think.
That was.
But I know who Salvo is.
That was right at the cusp of it. Was when all that was going on.
Is that with Is that when he went to the Comedy Store with Def Noodles?
That was part of it. That
Okay.
was part of it. The other part was what happened when he was on the Keemstar show.
Yeah, and I'm not
And what
familiar.
happened, what led to that.
And I'm not familiar with that whole particular drama.
Oh.
So maybe you'll have to fill me in on that. eShift makes it before I want you to tell me about that, but before that, eShift has an interesting comment that I think I want to pick your brain with. If I see a comment that I think is interesting, worth talking to K-Huck with, I'll just pluck it. She says commentary seems like you need to have an opinion. Do you have you always felt like you've been kind of an opinionated person, or is that something you've kind of developed over time being on streaming?
Very good question.
That's why I stole
yes
it.
And no. Yes and no. I think that in the beginning, when it was just me and no one knew the hell I was, I would say that I would be somewhat opinionated, but I wasn't really known for it unless it was something that I felt strongly about, and then people knew what my stance was on things or whatever. so I kind of take that same approach with commentary. I give what I believe my takes are, or what my stances are on certain subjects or certain people or whatever it may be. I try to stick with that because that's the only way. That's what I know.
Mm-hmm.
It's just being as honest as I can be with myself and now with my audience, and just show, hey, this is what it is. Take it or leave it.
Do you ever feel like
well,
nervous about commenting on specific topics? Like, is there anything that you're just like, nope, not touching that one. That's a little too spicy a meatball for me.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah, I haven't learned
there's
that
been quite
lesson
a
yet.
bit.
Like, I swear to you, my last two videos, the last two streams I did where I talked, not the Sam Hyde one and iDubbbz one. I think that one actually went pretty well considering there was a bunch of trolls in the chat. But the two before that, I was commenting on Ethan is Online, and I guess they found it and they ratioed that thing into the ground. I think it's got a 10% approval rating. But at the same time, I'm not even mad because I'm like, yo, I got 163 down likes. Yeah, I only got 12 likes, but guess what? I got 163 down likes. Like, I'm like, I turn it into, it's like, whether it's a down like or it's an up like, it's super fun to me to, just see people care that much about what you say, right? Because that's the whole trick.
Yeah.
That's why we talk about these bigger creators, because if I was to come on here and talk about, I don't know, like my opinion on, stop signs or something, nobody's going to care because they don't know who I am. You know what I mean? I'll take that as a huge compliment, Lagandi, that I look like Sam Hyde. He's a very handsome fella. Do you know who Sam Hyde is, K-Huck?
Yes.
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 We talked about him the other day, and I think it's a lot of his supporters. But I did when I first got started taking YouTube seriously. I did very serious coverage of Fish Tank season 2. You familiar with Fish Tank?
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
and
I couldn't escape it there for a hot minute. Yeah.
And I did an interview from season 2 contestants Reddit Jimmy and Summer, which is funny because I did a video on Summer, and her mom reached out to me and was like, I want you to talk to my daughter. And at this point, I hadn't talked to anybody yet. And I was like, why do you want me to talk to why do you want me to help people? So I ended up interviewing her, which she was probably one of the wildest contestants that's ever been on that show. And then Jimmy, Reddit Jimmy, was from Philly. So I was like, yo, bro, I'm from Philly. I'm a creator. Like, come talk. And he was like, yeah. And he saw my video because I did videos. I'd consider myself more of a creator than a streamer. I stream because I love my community and I love taking time to come and do this, and plus I think it keeps you sharp, having to not be able to script out what you're going to say and then try to, still entertain people. I think as an artist, I think that's a super fun challenge to constantly try to navigate yourself through. Plus, I think it also shows people that you're not someone who needs to really think very far ahead of what you're going to say, and that you can kind of move with the fly. It makes a lot of creators be like, okay, well, I guess this guy's somewhat intelligent, that he doesn't need to go and read something to be able to give his opinion on something. So I'd consider myself like a creator. So most of the stuff that I focus mainly on is investigational stuff. I've kind of moved. We've actually talked about this, but I've kind of been moving from drama more into cultural, movie culture, entertainment culture, art, and stuff like that. Because I still do drama on Later It Lately, and it'll probably always be a news-oriented style program, which is why I created a whole second channel for it, because I realized that my main creations, drama. First off, I'm a super nice guy. I don't know if you picked up on that, K-Huck. I like being nice to people. And drama is not good for that, because you're supposed to go in there and be like, look at that dumb son bitch. Ha, ha, ha. He's stupid as hell, And I'm not that type of guy. So I was kind of like, I don't know. I think I think the transfer idea to a new style of content came from when I was on Locale Rewind. Because even though I love going on there, I love talking to Xylee and I love talking to Billy the Fridge, and I have a blast going on there, I was like, and even though Billy and Xylee have been around way longer than me, so just the fact they even invited me on the show felt like a privilege and an honor. But like I'm like I am not keeping up with these guys as far as like just the art of trolling, the art of the kayfabe, the art of the, insult. And if I wanted to, I feel like I'm kind of forcing it a little too much. So I was like,
Yeah.
I really got to decide what I want to do. And while I do love talking about drama because I think people are amazing and they're super fun to really investigate and diagnose and, and like try to, and like figure out at the same time, like I it's not me. I can't really, I don't know. Maybe if Later with Lately passes my main channel and becomes the main one, then I'm gonna turn into whatever does better. I guess if you guys want me to sit here and make fun of people, that's what I'll do. But the inner part of me is just like, what do I really love? And I've had so much more fun making these movie style videos, like recapping shows where I think they went wrong, what they could have improved, what the writing's like, the actors. Have you ever felt like the niche you're in is something you're not sure of, or is it something that you maybe want to expand on? Or have you ever been like, you know what, maybe I want to try this, or maybe I want to try this? Because drama is intensive.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I've gone through that struggle, if you will, and I don't even really want to call it a struggle. I would just say that it's like more of a decision making, I guess is the best way to put it, but maybe but yeah, no, I've gone through that multiple different times throughout the time that I've started making content and streaming and stuff.
I see your husband made it into the chat, by the way.
Oh, did he? Oh, okay.
I'm assuming he is.
Honey. Yes, Hucklebuck is Mr. Huck.
Okay,
yes.
I was just making sure.
Yes, that is him. Yes. But no, I've been having that internal debate. Thank you. I couldn't think of the proper word there for a second.
It's a great word. Yeah.
I've had that internal debate for, again, since I first really started. And I even had that when I even first started out. Like, okay, what are we going to do here? What are you wanting to bring to the table? And I just went with it and just brought things that I was interested in at the time, or things that I'm still interested in and still follow up with, or whatever. But it also, for me though, it also depends on like the subject itself. If I know enough about it, if I think that I know enough about it, if I'm willing to comment on it, if my audience will like it, if I'll enjoy myself with it, that kind of thing. But I've also learned though too that pointing and laughing at people is really fun.
It is. It's almost too fun. And I think like I will admit, like making fun of Jake Weddle was so much fun. Just because I don't even think he's a horrible person or anything like that. But just the fact that the guy got all that money from Mr. Beast and decided to just blow it all on trying to go all in on comedy, which, YOLO, I guess. But at the same time, it's like, bro, you didn't think to like maybe pocket like half of that and maybe only, just in case it didn't work out. No, you were just like, every dollar must be spent. And then he like falls in love with this other girl who's got like 1,000 subscriber YouTube channel who's clearly using this poor fucking guy. And he's just like, she loves me for me. We're going to have a baby. And what's funny too? The last time I saw them stream together, Jake ended it with, we're having a baby. And her face was just like terrified of the idea of having a kid with Jake Weddle. And I think that, and then after that, they broke up.
Yep.
So
I remember seeing that. Yeah.
I wonder if that put in perspective for him.
I don't know, but that she is nuts.
She's crazy
Lex,
too.
I think was her name.
Yes,
she is nuts.
For some reason, people with the name Lex on line seem to always find themselves in the center of relationship drama.
I've noticed that too. It's becoming a trend, sadly, but yeah.
Don't name your kid Lex unless you want her to be the center of some kind of drama online at some point in her life.
Exactly. Yeah, I agree. But yeah, no, but when it comes, but like I said, back to briefly about like subjects and stuff. But what I do, again, I try. Yes, do I try to keep up with like the trending topics, or whatever it may be? Yeah, sure. If it's something again that I know I can speak easily on or learn or that I'm comfortable with learning about or whatever it may be, then yeah, I'll totally do it. But there are other subjects that have been covered, like even the subjects that were covered last year with like the Ava Chris Tyson stuff.
So
You
weird
know,
to say that
like
last
that.
year
Yeah,
because it
right.
still feels
Right.
so fresh.
I know, right? Or the like I said, the Ava Chris Tyson stuff, or
Dr.
anything
Disrespect,
like
Cody
SA,
Co.
Dr.
Yeah.
Disrespect, yeah, anything like that. I'm like, no, I'm good.
It's
I'm all
tough.
right. You
It's
know, just
tough because those are serious things that are taking place, and commentary is supposed to meant to be like fun in a way, and also not taking yourself too seriously. But sometimes, like, I mean, we literally have people in this community who have a logo set up for grape review, and I'm sure you know who I'm talking about. There's a couple of them,
yes,
but like that's how they.
yes.
Oh my God, we're talking about a grape that took place this week, and it's like
Oh
dun
yeah,
dun dun dun
yeah.
dun dun dun, and you're like, oh my. And I realize like it's dark humor, and they specialize in that, but at the same time, you're like, oh my God, there's like if the real
Yeah,
world.
no, I know. Yeah, I know who. Yeah, but that's what they. I think I know who you're referring to. Yes, but well, if you're referring to Mr. Nicholas Diorio,
He's one of them.
he's been around. Yeah, he's been around for oh gosh, for a long time. So he's comfortable, I'm sure, with what, and he knows his audience, right? His audience will accept that they'll want that, or but he can also do like somewhat lighter subjects as well too. I've seen, I haven't here lately. He really hasn't been doing that very much. He's been savage AF, but
Yeah, well, he
in
just
the
crossed 100,000, so he's probably like, finally, like, let's
Yeah,
go.
but at the end of the day, though, he's still a human being. We're all human beings. You know what I mean? Like he just has a different approach to his content, and always has had a different approach to his content. And that to me, yeah, is he known to be more savage within the community or even people that know of him? Yes, he can be. But again, like I said, he's still a human being at the end of the day. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, I mean, it works for him, and I think the Bo Blacks thing that happened, like, man, when you think about it, 2024 was such a crazy year to be in drama.
yeah.
Like you
Yeah.
had to choose, like, okay, am I gonna do this story tonight, or am I gonna do this story tonight? Because there was just so much stuff coming
Yeah.
out. And
Yeah.
2025 starts off with Bo Blacks coming out trans, and you're just like, looks like 2025 is just gonna be more of the same.
Yeah, right. And there's obviously the drama going on now with his pictures getting quote unquote leaked, or what, that whole thing. I ain't touching that with a 10-foot pole. No. No, 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 no. One, because I like Bo Blacks. I do. I think that I've always had a soft spot for Bo Blacks since, I first started watching him and getting to know him throughout, his channel, and him being on different people's streams and stuff like that, and his Twitter versus videos. I have a soft spot for Bo Blacks. I always have.
Even though he was
But-
going after Tipster.
Well, that to a degree, I didn't really pay attention to be honest with you. Because at the time, did I think that he was justified in how he felt about Tipster because of what happened between him and Tipster? Sure. Did I really have a personal opinion about, and even still to this day, do I even have a personal opinion about Tipster? No, I don't. I think that Tipster is Tipster. People love him, people hate him. I have nothing against him. I wish him nothing but the best, but the stuff that happened, oh God, when was this? 2023?
Yeah,
when
that was
everything hit
before.
off with him?
That was before. Like when I had him on here and I was interviewing him, I was trying to research a lot, and I'm like, dude, like, it's like, love him or hate him, you gotta respect the impact that he's made on this damn community, dude. Like,
Yeah,
the
right?
fact you can go
Yeah.
find 19 documentaries about Tipster shows that the dude left an impact, So I thought it was really fun talking to him. And, I feel like a lot of people try to do those. There's two types of streamers I've found. there's those who genuinely want to go and just have good conversation with people, and then there's those who want to kind of more or less fuck with people. And I feel like Tipster was like the type that always kept getting invited out to be fucked with. And I was like, I want to just like sit down and just talk with this guy, like, man to man, and just kind of get his perspective. And it was a really good conversation. Like, he was a real chill dude. He was a little nervous at first, but that's because, first off, he doesn't know me. Secondly, again, like I said, people bring him on to fuck with him. And, but I think he still likes talking to people. So he was kind of like, okay, is this guy going to turn on me at any minute now and start telling me about some weird thing that he found out about me? And as the conversation went on, we just, we developed a rapport, and, he got a little more comfortable, let his hair down a little bit, and kind of opened up to me about a little more of the touchier stuff that people actually want to know from him. And it was a great conversation. Like, so ever since then, I've had no problems with him. Regardless, I don't care if people hate certain people. If they haven't done anything to me, I'm still nice to them. Like, a lot of people make fun of Himpleton real bad, but Himpleton was one of the first guests I've ever had on this show. He was so nice when he came on. He's actually supposed to come back on again, but we just never was able to get the scheduling right. And I hear a lot of people still rag on him, and I'm just like, yeah. That guy's like hasn't even, I don't know, he might have broken 2K subs by now, but I'm like, he doesn't even have like 2K subs. Like, why are you guys like riding him so hard? Like, Tipster, I get it, because he was like a dominant force in commentary for a while. But, to go after Himpleton, who nobody really, he's a talented kid, but at the same time, like, he's new on the scene. He's not like left a major impact.
Right.
So,
No, I get that. Yeah, I get what you mean. Not like he wasn't Tipster level or anything like that. Yeah, I get what you mean. Well, I'll give my opinion on both here. I'll start with Tipster though. I'll finish with Tipster, and then I'll go into Himpleton too. With Tipster though, I think that again, at the time when everything was going on, did he handle everything correctly? No. Was a lot of people hurt in the process, especially close friends of his that were, maybe they were still online friends, but still close with him. They had personal conversations with him and so on and so forth. Were they all like kind of blindsided with everything that happened? Sure. Again, I don't remember everything that happened. I had to, think on it, but I personally don't hold anything against Tipster in myself personally. I mean, I thought that it was actually really cool to see when Augie came back because of Boblax. Jesus.
Oh.
Because of Boblax, and Tipster actually called in and
you're
was
welcome
talking with Nick and Augie and all that.
Yeah, you're welcome for that.
That was actually really cool. I did. I thought that was actually. Oh, that's right. Was he on your stream that night?
Yeah,
That's right.
I had this sweet girl who comes in all the time, Kaylee. Shout out Kaylee, Aesthetic. And she goes, I was like, oh man, because we're watching this whole thing play out, and she's like, I'm like, dude, I was like, Tipster needs to call in. Like, we need to get a hold of Tipster somehow. And she goes, well, he follows me on X. She goes, I can message him. And I'm like, yo, I was like, message his ass right now. He answered right back too. And she was like, you should come and check out EG. Like, she was really good. She wasn't like, get on EG stream now or anything. She was like, there's a really nice guy. I'm a fan of him, but if you don't want to, that's cool. But you should pop in there and see. And then first shows up his eyeballs, like in the chat. Tipster's he just pokes eyeballs to let you know where he's watching. So then he wasn't on the stream yet at that point, but a lot of the girls in the chat were starting to be like, yo, you need to call in. Like, you should call in. And like, I don't know how, like, inevitably at the end of the day, it was Tipster's idea to call in. But we definitely were like, yo, look what's going on. Like all your old buddies are all talking right now, and they're all shouting you out. And so I think, and then he came back in, and a lot of the girls were like, you need to call in and then leave by like dissing him or something, and which he did do. So, but I remember when he called in, remember, like we were like just 20 random people watching a 4,000 person stream going live, and we were like, let's see if we can get in this mix and try to make some interesting things happen. So the fact that we got Tipster to call in, and at first nobody, until he started talking, nobody was sure if it was even him. But I remember the minute he started talking, we were all just like, you would have thought like the Eagles won the Super Bowl here or something, but we were all like, yeah, like it was like just a victory for such
that's cool.
for such a small channel to make an impact on such a memorable internet moment like that. And nobody knows.
Yeah.
Nobody knows about that
No, that's
stream
cool.
unless you were there or you know of my community.
I remember hearing about that. Yes, I do. Yes, I
But
remember. Yeah, because I think that somebody was, I can't remember who was saying it, but somebody was trying to figure out where, if he was on your stream or if he was on somebody else or his own stream. And then I had heard that he was on yours and then came over and then, yeah, so I thought that was that's cool. That is. Yeah. I'll give credit where credit is due. That he was willing to do all that. And I'm sure, and he even had a conversation with Tommy C, and I know that him and Tommy kind of had a bit of a rocky thing going on. But, I like to see Tipster, be okay and not fighting with anybody. Yeah, do we want to see blood sports, like blood for the blood god? Sure.
yeah, it's our entertainment, Like we're
Yeah, exactly. But
as much as we're
over-
entertainers, we're also audience members.
Exactly. And but we're also like, it is nice to see, people that may or may not have an opinion on somebody, just getting along with them for like 2 minutes and having a conversation.
Especially all the bad blood that was going on with all them. For them to for them, because like 2 days, literally just 2 days before that, the idea of Tipster talking with Nicholas Diorio was just like never gonna happen. And then
right.
And Nick, when I had Tipster on my stream, Tipster kept saying like Nick will be here, like he'll pop in. I promise you, at some point he's gonna realize I'm on here and he's gonna pop. And I was like, I don't know. I was like, he's not gonna. Like Nick has no idea who the fuck I am. I don't think he cares about me. Like he goes, hey, I promise you. And then sure enough, by the end of the stream, there's Nick in the chat, and I'm like, well, now we got Nick in here, and I'm like, and then you're like, I'm not intimidated by Nick or anything like that, but you gotta respect the influence the guy's got in YouTube. Like people, like even Keemstar is kind of wary about fucking with Nick too much because Nick's developed such a loyal audience.
Oh yeah, and the both of them have gone at it so many different times from what I've seen, and there's, I'm sure, and him and Nick and Keemstar have always had, from what I've seen, and I'm sure the audience has seen it too, they've always had somewhat of a love-hate relationship to a degree. So, and I'm sure that there's more to it than what I probably know or can think of, but
yeah, they're in those chats that we're never a part of, like the group chats or whatever from the Illuminati of the commentary.
Right. No, well, not just the group chats. Yeah, that's also part of it, but also, like, just again with how long Keemstar's been online, how long Nick's been online, that kind of thing. They've developed obviously a history together to a certain degree, but they're still their own creators. Not people don't think of, when they think of Keemstar, they don't first think of Nicholas Diorio. They think of Keemstar, and the same goes for Nick. But because they have a well-established presence and all of that, but yeah, no, that's cool. That's cool that he came into your chat. That's neat. I've seen him pop up every so often in smaller channels chats every so often.
Yeah, it's the one thing I learned from starting nowhere, right? Because you start off at zero, and even though I've been doing YouTube probably since 2009 with this same channel, it started off as like my real name, music, and then because I wanted to be a musician, and then I eventually became like a skating channel. And then eventually was like, well, I can't skate anymore because I'm getting older, and if I break my leg, I'm not gonna be able to work, and I got a daughter to take care of. So I don't know if I'm gonna be able to be throwing out hammers anytime soon. And so then I eventually was like, you know what though? Like I always felt like talk radio is something I was really into. So maybe I should just start doing a commentary channel, and I didn't know where to start. So I remember I like did some shitty reactions to like a true crime series or something like that, and then I did
I did that too.
I think
I did that too.
And then I know it was the one I covered too was so damn tragic. And I'm like, how am I going to make this entertaining or funny? I was just going like, wow, this is really sad. And I'm like, this is terrible content. But I'm sure most of us feel that way when we go back and look at what we started at. And
Oh yeah, yeah.
and then I kind of
Are-
found my own by like I remember I had my first viral video, semi-viral video was reacting to a trans politics debate, and that ended up getting like
Ooh.
almost 40K. And this is the time where like the most I've ever had was like 1,500 views on a video.
Holy
or
cow.
or 13,000 I think was the most I had, and that was from learning, like documenting myself learning how to grind on rollerblades. You know, like because I'm sure there was a bunch of other people being like, how the hell am I even going to do this? Okay, this guy made a video figuring out step by step what worked for him and what not, and so that was the first video. Yeah, but that took that video had been out for 2 years and only made it to 13. That video that I did went to like 30K in like like a week. And I was like, oh shit.
Oh my god.
And everybody in the comments was like, this is your big break, bro. But at the same time, I was like, I don't want to be a political streamer. Like, do I like talking about politics sometimes? Yeah, but I don't want to be known as like a political streamer, which I don't really shy away from politics anymore. But I remember for a while there when I started deciding I was going to do drama, I was like, all right, I got to follow the status quo. Let me just stay in the center, not piss off either side. But then I realized there's no way you're going to be able to stay there because eventually you're going to say something that's going to piss somebody off and you're going to be exiled. It's like, which side, do you prefer to be exiled from? And
Right? Yeah.
so then, eventually I just was like, all right, there's drama. And now I'm transitioning to get back into what I actually love, which is like comic book movies, like geeky, nerdy stuff.
Nice.
Lord of the Rings. Like I want to, right now I'm working on a video documenting the Agatha All Along show, which is going to be my next video that comes out.
Ooh.
But it's fun because, I actually care about this stuff. And like it's not like I have to go watch, like my research for it is watching the show, as where the research for drama was I got to go watch people yell at each other for 3 hours. And I really honestly could care less about the opinions of either one of them. But I got to comment on it because that's where I'm at now. And so eventually it's like, all right, well, before I get too deep into this drama thing, let me try to float out a video about a movie and see if anybody even watches it. And then it went to like 10K. So I was like, okay, I can do this. I was like, thank God. Because like if it was like 25 or 50 views, I would have been like, okay, I guess I'm stuck in drama. But since it did really well, I was like, I can do this. And now all the other videos I've done regarding movies and stuff have been performing like at least somewhat solid. And here's the beautiful thing is they're timeless, right? So what's the one thing that sucks so much about drama, right? Is the in the now moment. Got to talk about it while it's hot before the next thing comes along and nobody cares about this anymore. Unless you're somebody like Nick who's got such a dedicated following, you can obviously do that. But
Right.
But with me or anybody new, like people want to hear from people as it's developing. So that's your best way to capture some eyes is to be like, okay, well, I'm talking about this first, so, but it's like it's exhausting. But now that I'm like, okay, well, I know at least a couple million people have seen Agatha All Along. So I know that, and if somebody doesn't find it right now, they might find it, in a year from now and decide to watch it, and then they might be curious. So it's all of a sudden just the fact you're talking about a movie and a TV show as opposed to a drama that's breaking. It's automatically evergreen, which is what I love about it.
Yeah. It's constantly. Yeah, I know. I get it. I get that 100%. I think that with me though, because I've expanded on more of reactionary content, or I'm sorry, well, I kind of started off as a reactionary streamer to certain like stories and stuff like that. That's how I started off too. But then I transitioned shortly after into interviewing.
Interviews are fun.
And that's what I mostly stuck with for, oh gosh, it was most of 2023.
Who were you interviewing? Just regular people or?
I did, let's see here, Badwick. I don't know if you know Badwick or not. He was the first person that I thought that popped into my head. I've done Badwick. I've done Xylee. Almost all of Now Recording minus Core. Oh geez. Willie Mac. Bo Blacks. Oh gosh, who else have I just recently had Lord Vega. Lord Vega came on. Kristen Ark, Beckett. The list goes on and on.
Yeah, Beckett and Chud said they'd come on and let me interview him, but all of a sudden going radio silent, that's another thing too. That kind of, there is such a clickiness to drama. There's a inner group, right? And it's like the barrier of entry is very high, and as it should be, because you can't just be letting anybody like randomly come in, because if they're a spaz or a spurg, the minute they get upset, they're gonna just go out there and be like, well, such and such said this in the chat, and this guy said this in the chat, and oh my god, you should hear what this guy said, and you can't have that. So I get it. At the same time, though, you're like, okay, well, I know how to get in to this, but one, it's gonna take ridiculously a lot amount of work, because you got to show that you are either really good, like Beckett. Beckett's really good at researching, like really freaking good at researching stuff, which makes him valuable, because he's always going to have information that maybe other people can't find. And then you have other people who just through connections have or have been around long enough that they end up getting indoctrinated into these cliques, which is fine. I don't have a problem with the clique, but for somebody trying to get into commentating, and I noticed this with so many of the shitter channels out there, like the guys that are on my subscriber count, like 3,000 to maybe 6, or 1,000 to like 6, were referred to as shitters. And a lot of times when like Nick is talking to Chud, like you'll just see all the 4,000 to 5,000 like sub guys being like, let me get in the call. Let me get in the call. I need to get in the call now. You guys are talking nonsense. Let me in. And then I'm just like, dude, first off, if I was them, I would never let you in the call. Like begging that hard.
Right.
And then secondly, it's like you want to get in because you want to get in front of their audience, and that's it. And you want to be associated with their names, and I feel like the better way to go about it would be to just make some serious fucking good content that's going to make people go, wow, this guy makes good videos. I'd be interested in hearing what he has to say. And I think that that's the way to go. But again, like, it's not really like dramas. I mean, again, it's going to be something that I do, but it's not going to be the main drive for me anymore. And I've been a lot happier and a lot less stressed out, because God forbid, and you know this, K-Huck, you get one thing wrong in something that you talk about, you are screwed.
Yes and no. Yes and no. It depends on what you're wrong about or what you get wrong.
Fair.
And it also depends on how you handle it. Because if you just make a simple correction and just say, yeah, I messed up with this, here's the, and correct it and move on, then it's fine. But if you try to, I'm not saying that this happens or that anybody has done this, but if you try to be a dick about it, you know what I mean? And try to double down on it and say, oh no, I was given, and just be an asshole, then yeah, the response is not going to be good at all.
Moreau does that like a pro. Have you talked with Moreau?
I have not, no, not personally, but yeah.
He is a character, dude. And, he's going to be fine, and I know he's going to be fine because he's so all over the place nonstop.
Oh, I know. He is nuts. He's crazy.
Like, he got Lex on. I'm pretty sure half the reason that Jake and Lex broke up was because Moreau was, like, trying to get with Lex or something while they were interviewing, and he was just like...
I don't know.
And I remember they asked him on a stream, like, were you trying to, like, simp for Lex? He goes, no, I was just trying to see boobs, man. I'm like, you just... And I believe him, too. It's like...
Oh, my God.
He always randomly will come in and, like, hop in and start talking to people in my voice channels, in my chat, which I think is cool. So I like Moreau. And he's an interesting guy to talk to. But it's like he's got that Andy Kaufman thing where you can never tell if he's just fucking with you or if he's dead serious.
Yes. Yeah. That's such a great way to put it. Yeah. Well, I think, and also, he's also been around, and I didn't know this, for quite a while as well, too. But I don't think that he started streaming until just fairly recently. But,
yeah, he's got a channel that's, I think it's Moreau Official is his main channel. And I think he's got like 20,000 subscribers over there, or 40 or something like that. So yeah, he's been
and
around.
On his Morale Live channel, which is I'm assuming is still fairly new. I think that he had just at the time when I first was starting to become aware of him was I think that maybe he had like 300 subs or something like that, and then now he's like at the 600s.
No, he's at 15.
Like
he's like 1,400 now. He's monetized on that channel.
No
now.
way!
Yeah.
Is he really?
Yep. And he.
Oh.
If you go back and watch how he did it, it's a masterclass in getting noticed in commentary because he would literally go pick fights with everybody, and like.
Yes.
And just take the opposing side, and then even if he wasn't like 100% convinced, but he'll tell you he was. He'll argue, and he'll argue until like everybody's like, "You're spazzing out, Elmero," and he'll just take it and be like, "Yeah, you're all wrong," like And you gotta admire his passion, and he's always trying to think outside the box in a lot of the topics that he talks about, like. I don't know if you've seen his recent video where he's calling out Dickers, who I think is a new commentary guy who's streaming. And hang on, I got to show you this because this is hilarious. I'm gonna share. I'll have to pull up and share my screen with you real quick. But this had me dying laughing. But he does like this whole. He called the video "Moreau the Movie," and he's going after this guy. I'm pretty sure Dickers only has like 600 subscribers or something like that, and he's a newer guy. But he had Tipster on, and Tipster called into a show and was talking about the Bo Black's sex change thing that's going on, and I don't know. Moreau's like creating this drama with him that he's making seem like it's such a deep topic in the reality of things is like it's just nonsense. But all right, I just pulled it up. I gotta put it on stream.
Oh gosh, I've seen a Dickers on Twitter, but I don't know of this person. I didn't know that they streamed.
Well, I went and I looked him. He had a lot of the Chud crowd, like the Shelbys and like a lot of the people you see in the Chud, which seems like if you get those guys, you're in. Like, you're going to at least have a dedicated audience, unless, like, Nick's streaming or something like that. But, excuse me, I'm hacking up a lung over here.
No, you are good.
Where did all of my things go? They all disappeared on me. There's got to be something. Where? I lost, like, all of my sources for some reason. This is what happens when I do a video, and then because I always end up like rearranging a lot of my sources because I'm just like gotta clip this.
Yeah, I hear you. Yeah, OBS likes to play tricks on me too. I understand.
Yeah, it's crazy too because like you would think that OBS would figure out to just keep your source, like you don't even have an option to keep your sources the same. They just is like, oh well, we can't find that one, so we're just gonna find some other one, and then you go live, and you're like, where is all my sources?
Excuse me, where the hell? Yeah, exactly. Like that happened the other night, because I had taken a couple of days off. I think it was like almost a week or a little over a week. I usually I try to pick days to when I know that I can stream, and it's just random at times, but. I hardly ever stream on the weekends because our life just gets crazy and hectic, and so I never get a chance to. But I swear to you, I will literally open up my OBS, and it will sometimes only be like 2 or 3 days since my last stream. Mm-hmm. And I will just see all of my sources all jacked up. My microphone, you can't find my microphone, you can't find my headphones. I'm like, what the fuck?
Yeah, it's like, were you in my OBS, Jed? He's like, no, I wasn't in there. It's like, there's no way it could be this completely jacked up. And then you just find out, you're like, no, OBS does that in its free time. It likes to just completely mess with you.
Yeah, exactly. No, I was told that from the get-go, even before when I was getting ready, I should say, to start making content, I was told that numerous times. And one of the people who I love dearly, who also who kind of helped me out too in a big way, was Mr. Peepaw Riveter. Have you heard of him or know of him?
I am not familiar with Mr. P. Paul
Oh.
Riveter, but shout out
Okay.
Mr. P. Paul Riveter.
Yes, Peepaw's the best. He's also another content creator. He's a streamer, but he also makes videos, or known to make videos. He has his own channel, but he also has a podcast called Clear as Mud, and he's also on another podcast with Badwig Productions called Wall Smashers. I'm not sure if you've ever heard that or not. But yeah, he's been around for quite a while, and I've known of him for a little over almost 2 years now, and I love him dearly.
Awesome. All right, I'm gonna hide.
Okay, all right. I'm looking in your stream. Okay.
All right. Wait, I just completely took me out of the. There's OBS doing its OBS thing again. All right, so yeah, so this is what Moreau just put out with Dickers, which is just kind of shows you who. And look, he don't even care too. It's only got 271 views. It was a day ago, and then he just writes in the description, "This is it." Like no context to it at all.
Dickers, let's not sugarcoat this. You're evil. Not in the cartoonish sense. Not in the way a child might imagine a villain twirling their mustache. No. Your evil is quieter, subtler, more insidious. And that makes it so dangerous.
I joined back at the perfect time. Here is our kind of dollars.
You operate in the shadows, exploiting the trust and the goodwill of others with precision. You manipulate, deceive, and destroy, not out of.
I'm pretty sure
God.
I'm pretty sure he just added in a bunch of random sound effects just to make it as chaotic as
Bro.
possible.
This is intense.
Do you want to see who Dickers is? Like, just so you guys see who, like, he's no, not Ickers. Oh God, I almost spilled my Red Bull. That would have been a crisis. 325
Well, yes.
subscribers. 325.
Well, I know Review Tech USA is also known as Dicker, so yeah, that was I forgot about that. But so okay, like what did he do? What did he do to Morale specifically? That's what
Okay,
I
I think that I can show you this.
Like embrace it.
We actually haven't talked about this yet on the stream, so this actually works out because now I can just have you here and talk about it. So you'll see, I'm just trying to see, because he's talking to Tipster right here. Okay, and then Morale comes in there. But this is where I think it all comes from. But, you know, look at Dickers just seems like a pretty normal guy just trying to stream. And Moreau's turning him into some hyper super villain.
He's a very transpositive guy. I mean, I am as well, but, you know.
Yeah. I mean, I'd personally rather not speculate on that too much. I mean, like, maybe for some people, that's how this sort of thing manifests. And maybe it's just a case of, like, now that he is kind of, like, you know, out there and everybody knows that he's non-binary and stuff, now he's, like, you know, experimenting with how he's expressing himself with this stuff. And it's just kind of, like, manifested in this massive explosion of so many things happening so quickly. But I don't know. I'd rather not speculate on that.
That's fair. I mean, Aiden's in here.
So
think I'm probably going to have
gathered-
Morale in here as well, if that's okay with you, Tip.
Oh God.
I don't mind.
Yeah, until Morale comes in. And then he's going to
Jesus.
But look at this.
Jesus.
But, like, okay, so do you see how, like, odd it is, the selection process of who these guys end up talking to? Because Dickers, 325. I'm not sure if this guy has a different channel that's, like, bigger or something. But, you know, you just get into the right conversation with the right person at the right time. And then you got Aiden coming in, and then you got everybody else. And then that's how you end up getting, like, involved in these groups. But,
Right.
but okay, so we'll keep going, and you'll see what happens with Moreau.
Oh God.
Aiden's just going to do the typical Aiden thing.
Yeah, I saw Aiden.
You
Yeah,
should
I
really
saw Aiden,
understand
I'm
what.
like, yeah, I saw Aiden when you first pulled it up. I'm like, oh, okay.
It's the same conversation every fucking time with Aiden. I swear to God, dude. If you could go back and watch every stream. with every topic, and you're gonna feel like you're watching the same stream again and again and again. But I do love that he puts up with the trolling that people do to him pretty well. He's a good sport about it.
I probably won't stick around too much longer, but yeah, you can add some other people to the call if you want.
Yeah, fair play.
Alright,
Just because I cooked him earlier.
Sorry, my place is filling with smoke. I can hardly breathe. What the
Just
fuck
like your
did I just
ancestors.
Aiden,
what the
I
fuck
swear
did
to
I
God.
just wake up to?
Aiden,
I
if you'd
had the
like to
same
see
experience
Aiden, hello.
a while ago, Aiden.
Content gold mine.
I mean,
Hey, tipster.
this is
Hey.
I'm at a loss for words. I'm at a complete loss for words. I'm just sitting here
Aiden, do you
like,
want to see his wiener?
no, not really.
Oh my god.
Not a good
what the
look.
fuck?
Bad optics. Bad optics.
See, Aiden comes. Aiden comes in. He's like, what am I waking up to? This is like really mind blowing. And Morose is like, you want to see his dick?
And his house is filling with smoke. Aiden, really, get off stream and take care of it. Oh my God.
Now he'd be like, content.
Aiden, I swear to God. Aiden, I swear to Jesus. Oh God, and Morale with the hey tipster. I'm like, oh Jesus, I can already tell that's bad. Oh no.
Whenever Morale gets in a call, you got to just start a countdown clock to when he spurgs.
Pretty
You
much,
can,
yeah.
God, I don't.
How is that bad optics?
I think you might be onto something, tipster. Hold that thought.
I'll be back.
Oh Jesus. Oh God.
He'll be back.
That's what he said.
Morale, you joined earlier. Sorry to cuck you. I just wanted like a quick kind of like facts, get an answers kind of like on the record or whatever
I had
interview.
a schedule. I had a plan. I had everything laid out to play Pokemon with someone named Tipster. And I wake up, smile on my
To be
face.
fair,
Love it.
if you
Hold-
go
shut
back
the
to
fuck
that,
up. Shut the fuck
No,
up, you fat
absolutely
piece
not.
of shit. You
Absolutely
fucking beater
not.
motherfucker.
You will
You're
not
gonna
shut
shut the
me
fuck up.
you
were
fucking
gonna come on
furry
my
little
stream
freak.
and we were gonna play fucking Pokemon together. And I woke up. I was happy. I was glad. I was excited for what we were about to do. And I woke up. And you know what I wake up to, tipster? I wake up to you having me unfriended on Discord. And I go to Twitter. And I reply to your tweet, begging on my knees, groveling for you to unblock me so we could play fucking Pokemon. And you know what your response is? To block me there as well. Thank you to everyone who warned me about this guy. Looks like I dodged a bullet.
I had multiple people DM me and be like, "Do not go on stream with that guy. These are people I trust." So I was like, you know what? Maybe they're
Who? What did
if
they
it's
say?
one person,
What's
maybe
so bad
two
about playing
people.
Pokemon with me?
Oh, I'll tell you. Because you're never anything you do with Moreau. Okay, I will be honest. I had Moreau on as a guest on my stream, and he could not have been nicer. All right, he engaged in the conversation,
Yeah.
but I think that was because he came like he was an invited scheduled guest on my stream, so he didn't come on to fuck
Right.
with me. But then that
Yeah.
again, that was right after all the shit with Himpleton went down, and
Oh yeah.
so I
yeah,
think he needed to take
yeah.
a break from the spurging, so he gave me like the authentic version of
sense.
him. But
Yeah,
this
yeah,
was the
I get
Moreau I was expecting to come on, like you know the let's get
Oh my
chaotic.
God.
But
oh, that's hilarious.
to be fair, I think Tipster. I've scheduled him on there. I've had him scheduled for interviews before like we actually did our interview, and he'd cancel and be like, I don't, man, I'm just not feeling talking. And I think some of that is part of like a test to see if you're going to turn and just be like, fuck that guy. He didn't come on my stream. Everybody can. But I was just like, hey, man, handle what you got to handle. If you ever change your mind, I'll be here. And then like 2 weeks later, he was like, yeah, well, I'll do that. I'll do that talk now. It was almost like he was like, all right, well, this guy's clearly not a spaz and he's not going to flip the fuck out at me for canceling on him.
Right. Yeah.
So
right.
I think that he almost has to do that given his reputation, and he has to be very careful with his who he's around. But Moreau,
Yeah.
like, he, oh my God, like yes, what everything that I said earlier about what Tipster has to be careful about interviewing people is exactly what Moreau loves to do. So
Oh yes. 100%. Yes. And I'll give Morale this. he can be entertaining and he can be hilarious. Like, this is hilarious. This is hysterical. But when it comes to, and again, I'm sure that I don't know if I'm the only one that feels that way, but when he gets into more of a serious debate, like kind of like what he had with Himpleton on Flatley Stream, which I think that you may have seen or you may have heard about.
Yes, I have.
That whole thing was just so weird and uncomfortable. And it wasn't necessarily just Morale or Himpleton. I'm not blaming any one of them necessarily. It was just the subject itself and what they were talking about, and just everything that happened, just off the bat, like that quickly, and how it escalated the way that it did. But
Yeah.
when I've seen very in the short amount of time that I have, heard of Morale and watched him on occasion. On the occasion that he is like that, it's like, okay, I can't, I watch from afar. You know what I mean? Like, okay, that's not my cup of tea. This right here is what makes him entertaining. This. What he's doing right now to Tipster is hysterical.
Yeah, and again, I love Tipster, so he's always been chill to me, and again, I like Murrow too. He's always been chill to me, so I find it hard to really choose sides in these situations. But I will say, knowing what Tipster has to deal with on a regular basis, considering his reputation, it can't
Right.
be easy to know who you can talk to and not.
Too. But I also understand that too. But I also understand to a certain degree why there are some people out there that are not very big fans of Morale because they feel that maybe he's too brash or whatever it may be, right? And they're well within their right to think that way. And that's totally fine. But I still don't know him a lot. Like, I'm not sure.
Do you want me to see if he'll come on?
Sure.
Like,
I don't
Murrow, come
care.
on my stream and explain yourself.
Sure.
Why
I
you
mean,
go-
if you want, sure, go for it.
I'll message.
I
I'll
don't
message him
care.
and see if he's available. He might be streaming.
All right,
but-
cool, go for it. But like I said, in the short amount of time that I've seen of Morale, yes, he's very much a force to be reckoned with. Yes, I will agree. When he wants to be a force to be reckoned with, absolutely. But and Tipster used to be that way too. Tipster to a certain degree, and maybe I don't know, maybe it's just me. But to me, Tipster also used to be kind of a force to be reckoned with as well. Because of the different, content that he would cover and the people that the whole Susie Lou situation that happened with him way back when and all of that and the different people that have tried to go after him for stupid reasons. He kind of had that persona too, and maybe still to a certain degree still somewhat does. I don't know. I haven't watched a lot of his content because it's been mostly, from what I understand, he's mostly turned to more of the political side of things somewhat, and that's not really my cup of tea. But I mean, hey, all power to him and all power to Morale for how they run things, I guess. But this is hysterical.
Yeah, I messaged him, so we'll see if he responds back or not.
Okay. All right. I'm down.
I just Morale, are you free? Come on stream. I have questions. That might intrigue him enough to be like, "What do you want?" I'm in the
Exactly.
I'm in the middle of working on a formula to clean cancer, only to make it come back in 6 months. What it's like?
Yep. Pretty much.
All right, let's keep going.
Hey,
I didn't even know. I didn't think we decided what we were gonna play or what we were
I
gonna
said
do.
Pokemon, and you said fine because you wanted to play something retro. I suggested Pokemon.
No, I said I would
and
think
you
about
said-
it. In fairness, if you go back to the Ico stream, I said I would think about it.
Yeah, you think about a lot of things, don't you?
Yeah.
You think about how you're going to backstab
That's how
me
brains work.
and betray me constantly.
Betray you? I barely even fucking know you, bro.
Get to know me then. Be my friend.
I don't know
hipster.
you, little bro. Who is this
Know
little
me
bro?
then. Get to know me then, Papa. Get to know me then. Be my friend, why don't you?
I I swear to Jesus.
But you
No,
won't.
I'm,
You won't
I'm
because
good.
you're a coward. You're a coward
Oh,
with no values who sucks up to tranny groomers who fucking
Whoa,
give
whoa,
little
whoa, whoa,
kids
no
a
slurs,
money.
no slurs, no slurs.
Hey,
No slurs, okay.
Hey.
You're just jealous of the friendship me and
You're
Tipster
still
have,
no.
okay?
Hold on. You're still friends with Keffels, right?
Oh no.
Yeah.
Even after.
Listen, when I brought up Keffels with Tipster, I was like, oh, I don't know how he's gonna react to me asking about Keffels, but I gotta ask because, like, you know, it's kind of a huge, huge thing.
Well, yeah. I would ask that too. I would, but I would be if I ever have the opportunity or to talk with Tipster. I don't know if I ever will or not, but if I ever did get the opportunity to talk with him, yes, I mean, it's the elephant in the room with him. You know what I mean? Like, how could you not? For those that know about his relationship with her, and all of that, they're gonna want to know what they don't, or they're gonna try to get something out of him, or to have him talk about something that maybe some people don't know, or see what they can, what he's willing to talk about. Which again, that's totally his decision, or whatever. He can do what he wants. But yeah, no, I would, but I would also tread lightly with that too, just to see how he feels about it, because you just never know. But,
I did.
yeah.
I feel like if anybody wants to know how to get through to Tipster, go back and watch my interview with him, because again, he had no idea who I was, aside from the night that we did the stuff with Nick and Bo Blacks and that whole thing.
Mm-hmm.
But he, again, for all he knew, I could have turned on him in a second, and
Oh yeah.
but I ended up building a nice rapport with him where he felt more comfortable being more open, because I'll give him credit. He was very transparent. Anything I asked him, he didn't give me that I don't feel comfortable talking about that right now, but he answered everything clearly with me, because I think he knew I was genuinely looking for just a discussion. And now I'm a guy who, leans right. So politically, we don't see eye to eye on a lot of things. Yes. And he, for all intents and purposes, he shouldn't, hate me. But he's always treated me very fairly, even if we disagree on certain topics. He's always like willing to have a discussion with me, because I think he knows that I'm doing it in good faith.
Oh well, yeah. There you go. I mean, hey, that's all power to you. That's what you want to, right? Despite the fact of whether your ideologies may differ from subject to subject or whatever it may be, as long as you're willing to have an open conversation, that's what matters.
Yeah.
And that's how I've always operated too. I will pretty much, to a certain degree, of course, I will pretty much talk to anybody and everybody who is willing to have a conversation. I'm not out for blood sports. That's not my thing. That's not what I do. If it came down to it though, or if I needed to defend myself, which has never really happened, to be honest with you, then yeah, I'll do it. But I'm open to talking with pretty much anybody and everybody as well too. Again,
Good
to a certain
news.
degree.
Moreau said he would he'll talk. So
Bring him on whenever.
you're gonna get to meet Moreau. All right, now I gotta figure out how to call someone while I'm in a call. Can I just call him while we're in a call and you'll stay in the call?
I think so.
Let's try it. But if
I honestly don't know.
if I drop you, I'll
that's
try
fine.
to
I'll
get
still
you
be here.
back.
That's cool.
Oh yeah, I dropped her. Okay, hang on. I gotta get her back. I'm pretty sure I could just add someone to the call. Hang on. I can do this. E.g., I can do this. Oh, there we go. Oh, I joined on the wrong computer. Hang on. Shit. All right.
I'm eating a big old burrito right now.
I jumped in on the wrong computer, so nobody could hear it.
I say.
Moreau, this is K-Huck. I don't know if you've ever seen K-Huck's material. She's a very, good up-and-coming streamer, except she's been doing it for 2 years, so she's not really up-and-coming, but she is more seasoned, but on the upward trend. We just happened to be... We just happened to be watching. Now, my whole chat knows who Moreau is at this point. So we were just happened to be stumbling upon your Moreau the movie video, and K-Huck was taken back about the intensity. You want to
Yeah, that's interesting.
give us a little insight into what was going on there?
I don't know. I don't edit my VODs. I just woke up one day that was posted.
It's just no reason or rhyme.
No, I mean, was it good? I haven't watched it.
You made it. What do you mean you didn't watch it?
No, I didn't. I have an editor.
Oh, do you?
Yeah, I just woke up one day it was posted. Is it good? Is it awesome?
It's interesting. It's definitely interesting.
It's
Okay.
entertaining, yes. From what we've seen of it, yes, it's very entertaining.
Well, that's the goal, I guess.
So tell me a little bit about Dickers. Like, is it so? He's this. I see that I see his channel. He's got 325 subscribers. And you're planning on going to war with him? Is that the case?
I'm already at war.
Why?
Yeah, fuck Dickers. Fuck Dickers.
It's just punching down.
All right, one sec. Sorry.
I want to add. I'm gonna put you guys up on the stream real quick so everybody knows who's talking and when. Even though I don't think people will confuse Moreau and K-Huck, they have completely two different voices. But just for visual cues.
No, you are good. I have that same thing too. I have that on my channel where I have that thing in Discord where the profile pictures pop up as to who is ever in the call.
Oh, is he?
Oh, Jesus Christ!
Is he calling Dickers? Is that what's happening?
I don't know.
I see that there's someone new. I see that there's someone new coming into the call.
Dickers. I just saw that it was Dickers.
Is it?
Oh no. Yes.
I mean, we might as well.
Oh Jesus.
He denied the call, or he just didn't answer.
Oh Jesus.
You got to admire Moreau's ability to just not give zero fucks about pretty much anything.
True. Well, I'm sure to a certain degree, but yeah, I get it.
And I was gonna say he'll just keep calling until
Oh Lord have mercy.
till he answers.
How's it
Dickers,
going?
you're live.
Mm-hmm.
They have
I'm live and
questions for
alive.
us.
How's it going?
We're in trouble.
I have
They have questions for us?
Oh Jesus.
They have questions for you and I.
Yeah, we're in trouble. Me and you both.
Oh,
Jesus.
Hi, Dickers. My name's EG Lately. I run probably the most impressive stream you'll ever see. I never mess up. My OBS always works perfectly every time. I'm here with
okay.
another amazing streamer named K-Huck. We were just chatting and we got into a conversation about Moreau, Tipster, and then of course your name came up because Moreau happened to recently make a video basically declaring war on you. First off, I wanted to know why, because you seem like you're pretty new to streaming.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have do you have anything to say for yourself? Are you intimidated? Are you ready to go to war with Moreau?
Oh Lord have mercy.
Well, Morale's got like a bit of a reputation, right? He's got a bit of a reputation for like usually kind of like defending pedophilia. And also he's recently kind of been platforming a guy who's been like serially harassing me. And that's why I started the war, okay? He was harassing me and then I declared war, right? So I don't know about, well, I don't know how you guys feel in the call, right? But personally, I can't stand pedophiles.
I don't think
know what I
anybody
mean?
here
Like, when
supports
kids-
them.
Yeah, well, somebody here,
Well,
maybe. Potentially.
Okay.
Hmm?
Yeah,
But
because
anyway,
you just did the
that's
same.
how the war started.
No, not I. No.
You know?
Mm-mm.
I'd be shocked if so you're saying Moreau is platforming someone who is potentially into PDF files.
No,
I mean, I
Two
don't
different
know. I
things.
don't have any
One-
evidence either way.
one, support pedophiles, and two, I'm
Bravo.
supporting someone who's harassing him.
Are you supporting that? Are you supporting them, Moreau, just because they're harassing him?
No, I'm supporting them because they're funny.
Is it funny when they harass me, Morale?
Yeah.
This is how we got on the topic of Moreau
You're a
in the first
monster.
place. Dickers, how long you been
Well,
you're a
streaming?
monster.
I'm morale, but you know.
How long have I been streaming? Like
Yeah,
a week.
Oh, that's what I thought you said. Now you see, I don't know. That's the funny thing about Moreau is you try to enter it all, and he's like the barrier of entry. If you he's just standing there at the door, just ready to fuck with anybody who walks in.
I I think one of our first DMs was him complaining about chatters becoming streamers. As soon as I told him I was getting a fucking mic, he's like, can't believe
Oh,
these
Jesus.
fucking chatters keep on firing up streams.
Hey, you got Tipster on right away, though. It took me a year to talk to Tipster, but I think you approached your conversation with him the same way I did too.
Fuck Tipster.
I tried to get a conversation between us
so many
three.
fucking times.
You did.
Well,
Why?
to be fair, I was the only reason I ended up getting the interview with Tipster is I was covering the Boblack stuff at the time, and he ended up just getting recommended my channel, and so he just appeared in chat, and we were kind of like talking back and forth through chat, kind of like for maybe half an hour. He said he didn't want to call, but then somebody else jumped on my stream to call out Tipster, and then he was asking if he could get in a call, and apparently, yeah, he decided Tipster just thought it'd be funny to cuck Soul and give me the interview. Yeah.
And
yeah.
Moreau, you
There
were
we are.
salty because you were supposed to be playing Pokemon with him earlier that day, and did he bounce on you or he blocked you?
Mm-hmm.
Did you ever get an official reason why he blocked you, or did you just say that because in the interview it doesn't seem like he tells you exactly why? Oh wait, no, he does. I remember he said because people told him not to go on stream with you.
Yeah, he's been like vague posting on Twitter about me, which is awesome because I'm like a nobody, and he has like hundreds of thousands of subscribers or something.
Yeah, I had him on. I did a whole interview with him, and I don't even think it cracked 200 views. So he still has those subscribers. He's still Tipster, and he's still that name still carries a lot of I don't know what you would call it, but definitely a lot of something. But for the most part,
He's got a lot of notoriety, but not an awful lot of like reputation.
yes. I was trying to get him into a call with me and Moreau, but he was pretty vehemently against that. So I tried Moreau though, because Tipster's my boy. Me and him are pretty cool.
Really, Morale?
Well, to be
Really?
fair-
What?
Really? One
What?
in 4 homeless people are women? Really?
Problem?
Are you reading his ex?
Problem?
No, he posted it in the chat.
Yeah, sorry, I'm not looking at the chat. I'm trying to make sure OBS doesn't mess up.
Me in that. You want my opinion on that? That's horrible.
You're a woman.
Yeah. I'm not homeless though, thankfully.
Not yet.
No, I don't. No. I hope I'm never homeless. But that's
Why don't you
terrible
hope you're
if
never
that's
homeless?
true.
You hate homeless people?
No, I just would rather not
So
be
why don't
homeless.
you want to be? Oh.
I hope I would never become homeless.
K
That
Huck's
would be,
getting
I'd be very sad.
firsthand experience on what it's like to talk to Moreau.
Describe to me the image that I sent you in DMs.
Oh, I was dying when you go into the call and Aiden's like trying to do this profound introduction about what's going on with Boblax, and Moreau just starts off the conversation. You want to see his dick?
He didn't want to see his dick. Describe that image. I
Nobody
DM'd you.
wanted to see his dick. Okay, we did it for the sake of journalism.
Did he start an OnlyFans? So I'm kind, I kind of.
He started an OnlyFans, and it's really hot.
And a fansly.
And a fan.
And a
So
Reddit.
he's double dipping.
Yeah, he had both.
Oh.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh.
He's
Just
Jose
to get
loyal.
all the chasers that didn't want to log into OnlyFans, very choosy about
Oh.
what platforms they're on.
Have we confirmed whether or not Chud Logic is in there? Because isn't he a fan of the GOG? Correct.
You're asking me if I know if Chud Logic got an erection when he was looking at Boblax's fucked up, malnourished, and malformed penis.
That's essentially the question, Moreau.
I think Dickers has the
No, we
answer.
can't
Dicker,
know.
explain the image that I just DM'd you.
Okay.
Oh, you didn't? Did you send me a? Oh,
No.
okay. It's a.
Oh yeah.
Okay, it's clearly outside. It looks like it's in Japan, and it's a very long hose disconnected from anything tied around water pipe. What the fuck is this image? Did you mean to send me another image?
Nope. On that note,
Okay.
I love you all. Morale out.
Thanks for coming on, Moreau.
Right, Morale.
Dickers, I'd love to have you on stream sometime to actually talk if you're ever around. So you can find me on X
Yeah,
at
for sure.
EG lately. You sound exactly like Beckett, by the way.
Stop. That's like half of my cut. This is going to be my entire chat now. Oh my god. He started it again. No.
K-Huck interviewed Beckett. Does he sound exactly like Beckett?
Kinda, yeah, but I think that well, Dickers is obviously from a different part of England, but yeah, he sounds where if you don't mind me asking, Dickers, where are you from? If you without doxing yourself, if you haven't said.
Yeah, I'm from the Midlands, which is kind of like the north,
Okay.
and so yeah,
Okay.
where
Yeah,
Beckett
okay.
might say bath, I'd say like bath, stuff, love,
Gotcha.
enough.
Gotcha.
Oh, I love.
Yeah.
I bet
Gotcha.
That's
the
how you
American
tell the
girls.
difference.
The American girls
if-
will love that.
If you ever
Love.
hear audio and you're wondering whether it's Beckett or me, all right, just look for like stupid sounding fucking
Yeah, they have-
half sounds like that.
He has a different dialect, if you will, than what Beckett does. But yeah. Because
Yeah.
to me, and well, there's another my favorite person in the one of my favorite people in the entire world. His name is Reese. He's from London, and you can tell that he's from London. He has very much that London accent, and yeah, but I love him to death. But yeah, it's weird how when you can hear like different accents, even if you're in the same like area, I guess. Each person you can tell a difference if you listen close.
Yeah, there's always like a slight kind of difference, a slight kind of twang. Although to most Americans, I think it's just
Yeah.
Especially since Beckett isn't even British; he's South African.
Oh, even worse. It's not even the same continent.
Yeah, and
Well-
he doesn't even have the good version of the South African accent.
I embrace
Wait.
my American stereotype. So
Wait, what? No, wait, are you getting him confused with Beavers from Now Recording?
no, I am pretty sure Beckett's from South America.
Is he?
Originally born in South Africa. Yeah.
Oh,
I said South
that's
America.
right. You're right. I'm sorry because that's right. I remember that now because Beavers from Now Recording is also South African. So okay, my bad. Sorry, sorry. I forgot about that.
Well,
All good. Anyway, I'll leave you guys to it. I'm going to head back to the stream. It was very nice chatting to you. I followed you both on Twitter. I'll speak to you soon, okay?
Dickers.
all right, I'll be in touch, Dickers.
Fantastic stuff. Have a good stream, guys.
You too,
See ya.
man.
You too.
All right.
Oh,
Well, I didn't know we were gonna get Dickers too, so that actually worked out.
Yeah, that was neat. That was cool. That was I'm very curious as to know what this feud is now.
Well,
It
now
has
you got
piqued
some
my
content to talk about on your next stream.
It has definitely piqued my interest. That's for sure.
They didn't seem like they were warring, okay, Huck, did they? They seemed like they were friends.
I think I think that I don't think that they hate each other. No, I
think we were just taking
I
for a bit
think
of a
that they have a
ride.
love-hate thing.
I think there's
Yeah,
I think we
I
got some
think that we have a
WWE
love-hate
bullshit
thing.
going on here. Some
Mhm.
some Keem,
Kayfabe is happening.
yeah, some Keemstar-ish action going on here.
Keep star action.
Speaking of which, I
Yeah,
saw that
yeah.
you joined the locale Discord. What's your experience? Are you still in there? What's your experience been like with that?
Oh, I've been in and out of there every so often. I'm not really involved in like most chats unless it's my Discord, and even then I pretty much leave it. I speak in my Discord, of course. I type in my Discord every so often just to check in and make sure people are alive. But I'm not really in like constantly in Discord talking. I'm in there every so often, but I just recently joined like a week or two ago, I think. And I haven't really been in there very much, but from what I hear, it is chaotic as hell, which does not surprise me in the slightest. But yeah, I check in there every so often, but it's been quiet. I've noticed that it's been quiet unless I miss something.
Yeah, no, I think that's the way to do. You got to check in with your community. You know, it's important. I think that it matters too in the long run.
Yeah, well, no, talking obviously I've had my Discord now for a while. I know anybody and everybody in there. That happened so many times now. It's not even funny. I remember when I first started streaming, I would go down. I think my first stream, I went down at least 4 different times.
Yeah, it didn't like
Because
it didn't like us talking
It
shit.
didn't like me.
on OBS. It was like, oh, you're gonna talk smack about me?
Or Apparently started not, yeah. streaming, I would go down.
Okay. We're back up. I gotta put the new link in the Discord.
And I can do that too.
This is what happens when you don't talk crap on OBS while you're streaming. Wait, wait until you're done. That was annoying.
That's okay. I do that all the time. It's okay. Let me go ahead and put this in my Discord. Okay. Oops.
All right. I'll give everybody a chance to come back in here before we start talking about Rewind and stuff like that.
All good. Yeah, I put it in mine. Let me do this.
All right. I see everybody starting to. I did, Mr. K-Huck. I called up Xfinity real quick and I was just like, "Et tu, Brute? Please, may I have some more time? If only I could get a donation or two, I could pay this bill this month. I know it."
Oh, Jesus. Don't become one of those. Please don't.
I'm just
Please
gonna become
don't.
straight up
No.
Dark Side Phil and be like, you know what? If I
was
get to
gonna say, do not
$1,000
be
tonight, I'll
DSP.
show my dog. Even though they've
Do
already
not
seen him.
be a DSP. Do not be any of those other stupid ass streamers who do that shit. No. No, 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 no.
You got to pay the bills, though.
No.
As much. I mean, again, though, like
True.
I stream mostly for the community and because it's fun, and for the second channel to keep up with like current news and stuff. But yeah, the majority of like where I bank all my income coming from is like from the content that I work really hard on editing, and so you know it's not bad to hope that you get something from that because you're investing like at least 24 hours sometimes into editing. Not in a row. You'll take a break here and there in between this because you can't just. The longer you sit there and edit for, the worse it starts to get because you start getting sloppy and tired. So, but I have done videos that aren't going to make any money and put them out there because I think that one, I really like the way the video is, but then I've had videos just get straight up blocked because they're like, oh, this has too much movie stuff in it. You're gonna, you know.
Yeah. I've had that happen. Well, I think that I've made videos, but only with like other people. Like I was on I still kind of sort of am to a degree. We haven't really been able to do anything really, but there's a channel that Toxic Piplup of Now Recording created called Still Connected. And it has like a bunch of different podcasts or shows on there. And one of them, actually, I was a part of two of them, and I still somewhat am, but we just haven't been able to record anything, is a show with Nerdy John called The Nerd and the Huck. And then I also have, I also have a podcast with the one and only Mr. Huck, and it's called What the Huck.
I've been trying to
And
get a podcast going with Miss Lately, but she just is, I don't know, she gets scared of the idea of it, so she never ends up actually sitting down and doing it with me.
Yeah, no, I understand. He was the same way too there for a little bit, but then he started getting attention and he was like, ooh, and now he loves it. So there you go. So now he'll just sit on my stream sometimes and just come in and listen.
Yeah.
And just be nosy. But yeah, no, I get it. Listen, making content and being a content creator or a streamer or both, it is a whole nother different fucking ball game. Different ball game.
It's interesting too because a lot of people have that argument, oh, is streaming harder than a 9 to 5? And in the action of streaming, it's not, right? Like sitting here talking easy and it's fun. Like I'd rather do this than any other job. But the other thing is though, where it becomes difficult is when you're trying to maintain relevancy or trying to understand what people want to see next. It's trying to stay up to accuracy with the stuff that's breaking. So that's where it gets difficult. And the constant kind of like trying to come up with clever and creative ideas too, especially like where we're at, where we're trying to break through to the next level. I mean, I don't know about you, but like I was always like kind of raised as an entertainer, so it's like something I take a lot of pride in, and I want to be able to be like, you know, keep escalating to the next level and the next level, and you know, it's hard though. It gets really hard. You know, it's not by any means easy in that anybody can do it, and it takes balls to get up here and give your opinions, especially when you know there's going to be a lot of people that are going to come back and say that's the dumbest thing I ever heard. You know, so
Right. Oh, I've had that happen. But you know, and again, it's like I said earlier, when you do get responses like that, like, oh, your response was dumb or whatever it is, then you're just like, okay, well then what did I get wrong? Or what is it that I missed or whatever? And you just take it in stride and just try to correct it. But again, as long as you're not an asshole about it, like, oh no, I stand on this even though I'm wrong, I don't care. There are some people that do that, and that's all well and good, but just don't be a dick.
yeah.
Just don't be a dick about it, and just take your mistake in stride and just learn from it and move on.
So
But
go.
and that's what I've had to do. Yeah, I've had to learn that mistakes are going to happen. You just got to learn how to handle them.
All right, so before we got cut off, you were talking about Locale Rewind.
Yes.
So, yeah, I was on the show. I don't know if you heard, but I did tell Xylee that you would be a great guest to have on there one time.
Oh, sweet.
Were you there?
That would-
Were you
that
there
would
to
be
hear
fun.
that? Did you?
No,
hear-
I was not. No, that's so sweet. Oh, that'd be cool. Yeah, that would be cool to do.
Well,
yeah.
it's the same reason
I
why
would
like
love-
Xylee brings me on, and she's helping out someone in her niche, you know. So you've always been very kind, very supportive of the channel. So I'm always trying to help out people who help out us. You know what I mean? I think
Oh,
that's
well,
how
thank you.
that's how it should be, you know. And I do think you'd be.
Yes.
Although, here's the problem with that community: they can be very mean. Like I was literally there, and a lot of time I was just letting Billy and Xylee do their thing and chiming in when I could, and everybody's like, "Don't bring that friggin' boring hippie back on this show again, Xylee." And I'm like, "What the hell did you guys want me to do? Like take over their show? Then I'm for sure never coming back." You know what I mean?
Exactly.
But people,
Exactly. Well, no, I think that with Locale Rewind, with Billy and Xylee handling it, and they do a great job. They have such a great chemistry. They have such a good chemistry. I think that they handle it the way that they want to handle it, and I get that they also have to be entertaining in some way, shape, or form, and they are both very entertaining. But
yeah,
I
they're
think that
good.
they're going to bring on who they well, and also with Xylee being a part of commentary for as long as she has, she knows a ton of people. So of course she's going to let those people that she knows, right, to a certain degree call in and talk or hang out or whatever. But she also and Billy too. And Billy is somewhat, I don't know how long he's been quote unquote involved in commentary, but I think that he's been around for a while though too. But I would love to talk to him.
Well,
one day.
yeah,
I think
he
that'd
does.
be a lot of fun.
He does commentary on his YouTube channel, but he's mainly a musician. And I don't know if you've ever seen any of his stuff. He's really good. He's almost at like 100,000 subscribers. He's doing really well.
Yeah. I've seen a couple of his music videos. They're actually pretty entertaining.
Apparently, he said he
They're
was
pretty
coming up
good.
with Macklemore. He was coming up like in Seattle scene with Macklemore, but he should be a lot bigger than he is because his music's so good. And he's he could be rowish in that he's trolly, but he's not as like coy about it. Like you know when Billy's fucking with you. Like you don't have to try to guess like you are with Muro, but yeah, it's fun going on there. It's intimidating because you're going, you know, as you can see, like we got like 20 something people in here, and in there, you're sitting and talking in front of thousands, you know. So it's like you're like, oh shit, you know, here we go. Like, and then I was on Locale Live one time doing like an audition, and that had me scared shitless. My heart was like racing when I went on that one.
Oh yeah, I bet. Well, and also with that show in and of itself too, it has such a reputation for, you know, their audience, and it's not necessarily their fault. It just happened, I guess, or maybe it was a product of their design. I don't know, but they're known for having an audience that is very savage and loud, and they will be heard no matter what. You know what I mean? And they have, and it's not that they're vicious by any means. I'm sure, I hope that that's not the case. But, you know, but it's also built upon how the show was built. Like, Locale Live almost didn't happen. Do you know that story?
Yes, because it was like with Darkside Phil, and he was gonna try and do it himself. Zane T says, also Moreau is Moreau, which is always a minus. I have no idea what the context is. I just got here 45 seconds ago. We normally are a lot more inclusive with the chat, but when I'm doing like interviews and stuff, it's hard to like, because we get on a roll talking, and sometimes I don't want to break the momentum up by talking with chat. But anybody who's not here normally, my chat will tell you that are my regulars. Like I usually talk to chat the whole time, and so does K Huck. It's weird when you're talking with someone else, because then the chat's a third party to that, and it's hard. And sometimes it's hard to.
Well, I've gotten used to that with me doing the interviewing and stuff. I've just gotten used to chiming in when I think that it's necessary, or if a chatter has a question or something like that, then sometimes, depending on how the conversation is going, I'm usually like, hey, such and such has a question here real quick. And then I'll, or whatever may happen. But yeah, I've gotten used to that too. But if I'm reacting to something and just watching a video or whatever, or even if I have a couple of people on the call, I'm usually, paying attention to chat or whatever. It just depends on what we're doing.
Yeah, I'm always reading the chat, by the way. I'm always reading what you guys are saying. So I don't want you to feel like I'm just here ignoring or anything like that. Because the chat is super, super important. And I know how frustrated I get when I'm watching someone and it feels like they're completely ignoring their chat. So at least you guys know that I am reading what you guys are saying. Okay, so you were going on about how Locale Live almost didn't happen. Was I sort of right with the DSP thing?
Oh, kinda, yes. That was part of it, yes. So it initially started out with Keemstar reaching out to DSP and Wings and Boogie, right? Wings and Boogie were always going to be a part of that, dynamic.
Mm-hmm.
But they needed a third. Or Keemstar wanted a third, or that he felt that I guess the both of them wanted a third or whatever, or all three of them did. And, K-Huck is awesome, nicest person I've ever talked to. Yeah, really, Mr. Huck? Really? I better be the nicest person you ever talked to.
He doesn't want to sleep on the couch tonight.
No, I'm kidding. No, thank you, honey. I appreciate it. Anyway,
he's nicer than Miss Lately would be. She'd be like, "When are you going to be done?" That's what I would get. When are you almost done?
Yeah. Well, I will admit though, like in the beginning when I first started streaming and stuff, he'd be like, "Okay, what is happening? What are you doing? Like, come on, let's go. We got things to do." And rightfully so, because we would, have to go somewhere or do something, and I would still be streaming or whatever. And I'd be like, all right, I gotta go. But now he just, he loves it. Now he understands it to a certain degree. He understands it a little bit better. And I gotta give him credit where credit is due.
Well, she loved it when we moved into our apartment, and my chat came through and bought a ton of stuff off her wish list. She loved it then. But now that Daddy's back to streaming and not watching movies with her, she's like, "Are you almost done?" I get it.
Aww.
But she wants to spend time with me, and I don't blame her. I mean, I normally stream every Tuesday and Thursday, so Tuesday night I gave her. I took the night off and I helped her build this egg swing chair that she wanted to have built. So,
oh, that's sweet.
Yeah,
we got a new dresser too that we got to put together at some point. Gonna maybe do that this weekend if we have time. But anyway, so back to Locale. So, DSP was going to be a part of it, or at least Keemstar had reached out to DSP about coming on. DSP rejected it. Didn't want to have anything to do with it. Thought that it was beneath him, and all of this other shit. And he was just being Phil. Phil was being Phil about the situation, right?
Mm-hmm.
So eventually he backed out of it, but yes, that is true that he did reach out during the time when the show was being created or still being worked out on. He did reach out to Boogie. I don't know about Wings, but he did reach out to Boogie and say, "Hey, why don't the three of us do our own show or something like that?" he tried to get Boogie and Wings to go with him instead of Keemstar.
Mm-hmm.
I can't only begin to imagine if that would have happened.
I don't think it would have nearly been as
So-
successful because the reason why people
No.
like it so much is because of the chaos that Keemstar brings to the show. And
Right.
you know, as much as I love Tommy C and I didn't want to see him leave that show, it's better with Keem. It is. You know, I hate to break it to people, but you know, Keem being on there and just being kind of like a authoritarian, you know, shitty boss to them, it gives people something to relate to because I'm sure a lot of people have shitty bosses that they deal with, and it's kind of, you know, it's like, oh well, thank God, it gives you that thank God Keem's not my boss thing. Although he's much nicer to Xylee and Billy than he probably is to Wings and Boogie, but that's because the dynamic's different.
Right. Well, and the other thing though is that what I didn't like about the whole thing with Tommy C was what Keemstar did to him. And how Keem almost didn't pay him, and all of this other shit that came about with all of that. That's what turned me off of the show, was of that, right? But you know, but then again, Tommy has worked with Keem off and on now for years. So he knows how Keemstar operates, and this isn't the first podcast that Tommy has done with Keemstar, though. Too.
Yeah,
He's
they
done
like baited
two others in the past.
Okay.
Baited and baited, and then I think he did another one with him. I think, or may have just been baited, but still, Tommy has worked with Keemstar off and on now for years.
Yeah,
right?
and that's why
So-
Xylee worked with him too, because they, you know, just Keemstar likes to pick people who he can depend on, so that's why.
Yes, exactly. Say what you want about Keem, call him an asshole, call him anything, and he probably will say yes, and rightfully so. He's been around forever. Say what you want about Keemstar, call him an asshole, call him a dick, say that he's the worst person on earth, fine.
Keemstar, you're an asshole,
But
you're
I
a dick,
got-
you're the worst person on the world.
See? And he would be like, and he doesn't care.
You'd be like,
'cause
but
he's
I make
heard it all.
money, I'm successful.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. But he can be entertaining, and he knows how to work an audience to a certain degree. Does he fuck it up every so often? Yes, we all do. But does he get more shit for it because he's Keemstar? Yes. Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
But again, I also think though too, and I thought this, you know, before the whole thing happened with Tommy, that sometimes to a certain degree, Keemstar gets way too much shit. But then again, Keemstar knows his reputation.
He
You know,
taught
he's
me,
been-
I will say, he's taught me the value of hate. Like, there's two things that can happen. You can either be completely beloved, like Moist Critical, or you can be completely hate it. And both can be incredibly lucrative and beneficial to your channel. So, like, that's
Yes.
why when Ethan Online's, now aka Eden Riley's group of followers decided to, like, you know, go after my channel, I leaned into it, and I'm like, this is perfect. Like, this is a perfect opportunity to, like, rile up some
I would've done
people.
the same thing.
Because at the same
Mm-hmm.
time, like, they're not my target audience. Like, there's no way, like, real, true leftist people would watch my channel long. Because I, you know, I tend to not agree with a lot of things they say, and they tend to not be very open-minded to that kind of stuff. So they're not gonna watch long. So I don't really care if they come and watch and then they never come back. Because eventually
that's the
I'll
perfect-
find
that-
the people that do want to hear what I have to say. You know.
Exactly. And that's the perfect way to go about it. And that's kind of what I take my approach with too, with certain creators, because I've gotten a couple of blocks from a certain amount of creators, and I find it hilarious. And I am just like the smallest person in the world, and they still block me on Twitter, and it's hilarious. But the one example that I have that happened to me with that kind of to a certain degree was Andy Pants Gaming. Do you know who that is?
I'm not familiar with them. What happened there?
Oh, Jesus Christ.
We're learning
TLDR.
we're learning about you, K-Hawk. Tell us all your deepest, darkest dramas.
Well, Andy Pants is a content creator. He's more well known to some people for having his debate with the Yak Man.
Okay, I know who that is.
And Yes, and he had his debate with the Yak Man in September of last year, I think, and he completely bombed.
Was this in
Completely
regards
bombed.
to like woke gaming and stuff like that?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. And how he asked Ackman like how much he was getting paid under the table from a certain developer. I think it was Ubisoft or something. And just he completely bombed. Completely bombed. Well, he's been on this tirade now for a little bit about wokeisms and shit like that, and how things are too gay and all of this other shit, and how there's not enough boobs and ass in the games and this fucking nonsense.
Old school 2000s Mortal Kombat.
E.g., I kid you not, one of the first times that I actually talked about him was back when the debate happened with the Yakman, and I covered it.
Mm-hmm.
I kid you not. So, okay, this is what I do, and most of my audience knows this. I have 2 Twitters, right? I have my main one, which is the K-Huck one, and then I have my other one, which is the K-Huck Cast one. That's the one that I usually just tweet out when the streams are happening and things like that. That's what it's mainly for.
Mm-hmm.
It was actually created by my former co-host, Maggot Edits. She created that for us when we were streaming and all that together, and I just kept it. So I tweeted out that I was talking about him and somebody else. I think it was when the Cine Bear drama was happening.
Oh Jesus!
And he literally responded under that tweet and said, "Enjoy" or "cope" or something like that.
Oh,
and I go, "Excuse me, what?" And I'm like, "Oh, I'll have to." I just was like, "Oh, here we go. Oh, here we go. I'm gonna have fun with this." So, of course, I responded being a smartass, and I was like, Andy, you're more than welcome to come on stream anytime you want, and talk about what you think or, have a discussion. Nope. He's like, nope, cope and seethe or whatever the hell he said to me. I'll have to pull it up and find it. It was hysterical. So that happened, and so I, of course, laughed my ass off. I'm like, okay, it's a one-off situation, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
E.g., he has literally responded any time that I have linked out a stream and he's on it, he responds. The last one that I did, the last one prior to the one that I did, the third time that I talked to him, and I don't know, the 4 or 5 months that I've known about the man, the last time, it literally, him and his cronies literally would respond to almost every single tweet, not only of mine, but of other people that were responding within a 24-hour period.
Yeah.
It was so bad. It was.
That's yeah.
And it got other people's attention. It got, other creators' attention because of how much shit was going on in that thread. It was insane. And so he has yet to block me, which I find interesting, and it's whatever. If he ever blocks me, I find it funny. But yeah, that's the one example of somebody who has gone after me, quote unquote, and his audience has gone after me. And I'm like, you know what? I'm going to have fun with this.
You gotta. Because if you don't, you let it, it'll get to you. And, because if you can't, like, if you take what they say seriously, then as a human being, only so much. Like, you could see it happen with Boogie with the cancer stuff, where he's used to getting criticism, but he in a moment of like vulnerability, I guess he said, "I'm not used to receiving this much criticism, and it's hard right now." And I think that was one of the few times he was like being really honest when that shit was going down. And it's like, yeah, I'm used to like a couple of random people in the chat calling me an idiot or something like that. But when it's the whole entire internet, that...
You said that? I'm sorry?
This happened during the Boogie Fake Cancer thing on Locale Live when he was having his whole spaz moment. That one, even though a lot of that I felt was like forced, a lot of it, sometimes every once in a while a comment in there would slip out where I felt like he was being genuinely, like, he was basically screaming at Keemstar, like, yeah, I'm used to getting criticism, because I think Keem said, like, what are you so upset about? You're used to being called an idiot online. And he was like, yeah, I am, but I'm not used to this much. Like, the whole entire internet was, like, on his ass. And I can imagine, you can have all the pride and ego in the world, but when every single person you're talking to is like, what is wrong with you? At some point, you got to imagine that it's going to get in the back of your head where you're going to be like, is there something, like, what is wrong with me? Is there something wrong with me? You know?
Yeah, I mean, I get that though too. But here's the thing: Boogie has been around since God was a child.
Since God
Okay?
was a child.
He knows how this operates. He knows how the internet works. He knows this, and he had to have. And I'm not saying that he knew or whatever, but he had to have had some type of inkling that when that story broke and how everything played out with it, he had to have known that he was going to get some type of hate for it. You know, again, I don't know to what other degree he did get. I don't know, but that story was just insane, and just
It
how
put the show on the
everything played
map.
out with it.
I think that
Yeah,
saved Locale Live for sure.
I think so too. I agree. I think in a weird way it did, because that was also during the time when they were still trying to figure out the format. You know, Boogie, Wings, and Tommy were trying to figure out the format. I mean, look at the first episode that they did after, you know, everything that had happened and how the show almost didn't start because of reasons. And I'll explain why it didn't happen in a minute. It's a crazy ass story. Besides the DSP stuff, that something else happened afterwards, which is you're not going to believe. But look at the first episode of Locale Live when they first recorded together, right? The dynamic between the three of them was already kind of tumultuous to a certain degree, but it was still entertaining, you know. And then they went to live streaming, and that kicked off right then and there. The minute that they started live streaming was when it was like, okay, this is it. We're sticking with live streaming, and Keemstar has stuck with that ever since. So
Yeah.
because I think personally, and I don't know if this is true or not, but just from my point of view, I think that Keemstar prefers live streaming.
He does. He
I
said
think
it
that that's
himself.
more
He
his bread and
said
butter.
he
Yeah.
said it's the future. Everybody's gonna want to be there when it happens, and that's
Yeah.
what is.
Especially with them.
But I
Yeah,
disagree.
especially with those people.
I disagree. I know that Keem lives online, and there's a lot of people. You know, since we talk about this stuff, we're kind of forced to be involved in a lot of it, so we do have to keep up with this stuff. So we tend to be online a little more than the average person. But I don't think that
Yeah.
on-demand videos are going to go away anytime soon, because people still like to watch at their convenience. And sometimes
Yeah.
with the live streaming, where it'll probably be very popular for a week. And you do make a lot more money live streaming. Like Chud Logic has about 40, he's in the 40,000 subscriber mark, but he makes probably about as much as like somebody who makes content at 200,000, because he's got people in there every day donating every day, just to be on TTS, be heard. And he probably makes the same, but he doesn't have the same subscriber count. But that's because the live audience, like I make a majority of my YouTube revenue through my donations that I get through streaming, and then the other half probably comes through whatever ads play for my other videos. That's since I've had success recently, that's kind of starting to switch over to where it's more ad generated now. But at the same time, I could never imagine not streaming. I would be streaming. Like eventually this show is going to end up on my other channel, because it was created to be the streaming channel. But at the same time, if I do that channel's not monetized yet, so I'm not going to be able to get donations or anything. So that's why I still stream here. Then I just take it down and I post it over there. Unless it's like something
Makes
that's super, super interesting that I think would benefit the channel on the main one.
Yeah.
But yeah, the majority of
Yeah,
this stuff
I
is
get
going
it.
to end up there.
Right. Well, and that's what I just recently got monetized. I got monetized in October. And
Congrats.
yeah. That was insane. Thank you, Saggy Melons, or Realite, whichever name you want to go by. She was the reason, she was part of the reason why I did it happen that night when I actually had her on for an interview. But it was also, of course, it was the dedication of my audience, and of course, and all that too. Not gonna negate that at all. I appreciate every single one of you, but with me, I'm the same way. The only way that I've been able to make quote unquote money is through super chats or donations or whatever it may be. I don't think that I've made a cent off of any of my streams. I really don't.
I mean, I work a full
If I have,
time.
I don't know.
Yeah, I work a full-time job because I feel like if I were to only focus on YouTube, it would become unfun very, very fast. Because now it's not like, oh man, that video didn't do well. Now it's like, oh my God, they're gonna turn the lights off. Like I wouldn't recommend. Some people do it, but I wouldn't recommend ever quitting your stable job to jump head first into YouTube. I know I see it all the time on YouTubers r/YouTubers on Reddit. So many guys are like, I just got monetized. I'm thinking about quitting my job and going head first into YouTube and just pumping out content. And literally right underneath, you see a million people being like, don't do that. And I've seen Brandon Buckingham, who I'm a big fan of, talk about his journey doing that. And he quit teaching and then focused like full time on YouTube. And he's one of the few cases where it actually worked out for. But he also put a 6 months heads up that he was leaving too, so that he was able to, I guess, stockpile money to try to give it a good run. So he planned ahead. But just on a whim, quitting and being like there's like, take Tipster for instance. He told me flat out that he does not make enough to live off of YouTube, and he's got like 200,000 subscribers. So if that's not a wake up call that you know, unless you're like in Turkey Tom territory, you're
well, even then, that's still iffy. Even then, you know what I mean?
Yeah, well, I'm
It
sure
just-
Turkey Tom's making like 20K a month easy between all the channels.
Yeah, maybe.
And that's
Yeah,
plenty.
maybe.
If you're making 20K a month, you can make that work. You can even just do it for a year and just be like, all right, I'm good now. Like I'm gonna live
Yeah,
off of this.
I hope so. I hope so. But no, I think that, well, and also bear in mind here, well, and I don't know if this has anything to do with like money or whatever. It could just be other reasons. But Nicholas Diorio also has a full-time job too.
I respect him greatly for that because he could easily live off
I
of
do too.
YouTube if he wanted to, but he still works.
Yeah, I
because
do
he
too.
knows it's never guaranteed.
I personally cannot imagine me just up and quitting my IRL to do this full time. I have I thought about it? Have I fantasized about it? Yes, absolutely. But do I actually want to do that? No. I would hope that doesn't come to that, because obviously then different factors would come at play with that, maybe, I don't know. But I can't imagine me not having work of some sort. You know, but I also think though too I've talked about this before. I think that it's important for those who are just up and coming and are just like wanting to figure out like what this sphere is and what kind of content that they're going to make and things of that nature. I think and I've said this before, it's good to have like a humbling hobby or a humbling experience to keep you grounded as much as possible.
Absolutely.
Go outside, go touch grass, go talk to people face to face. That's why I have
Zane T also added that Kristen Ark and Beckett also have day jobs, so yeah.
Yes.
And JY says you should play something. What are we requesting? Well, JY, we're doing an interview right now, but we were gonna allow it to people to give us stuff to request to towards the end, but we didn't get to that part yet, so that's why we're not playing things unless something comes up that we want to check out while we're interviewing.
Of course.
But this is what always happens. I always plan on doing this, and then I end up just getting into a huge conversation with whoever I have on, like Joe Rogan style, and just talking for 3 hours, and then being like, "All right, well, that was fun."
Listen, I am very much a talker. Always have been, always will be. I'm very much a long-winded person. So this is perfect. But yeah, no, anyway, so back to like touching or being in touch with reality, if you will.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why I don't think that I could ever, unless I knew that I was comfortable enough and could be comfortable enough to be able to do this full time, and I knew that it was going to be okay, I couldn't do that. I can't.
I feel like I'd only be able to do it if I was like closing in on like maybe 1 million or maybe even 500K. I think that was, if you like like take Scammer Payback for instance. Pierogi, like he's turned it into a business. You know, he's got obviously he's got 7 million. Or
Oh, Pierogi. Oh, Pierogi.
Hey.
Hold on real quick. I got to say something about him real quick. Thank you, Pierogi, because your drama brought me my first over 1K view stream. Okay,
there you go. That's what put me on the map, that whole drama with him, because I think I was the first person to respond to Savannah because I was a subscriber of her. And then, of course, after that, I wasn't. But I watched this and I was like, dude, this is absolutely retarded.
Video. Oh my God, that video. Oh, that was so bad.
Which is funny
So
because
bad.
Hina just posted today on X that she's going to come back and take down Pierogi, and I just wrote under challenge accepted.
Good luck.
Yeah, I was like, challenge
Right.
accepted. I dare you. Because when a lot of that stuff was going down, you know, a lot of the Scammer Payback community was like feeding me like, here, this is what happened here. This is what happened here. I was kind of like on the front line leading the canceling Pierogi movement. So it was, but I mean, again, that's what kind of got me started in drama. But at the same time, it's like I kind of got pulled into it because I just saw wrong being done and I wanted to speak up about it.
Right. God, that whole story is just insane.
It was
And-
crazy. That's how I got on Kristen
like-
Arc stream, which brought me probably my my first initial group of people that started regularly watching me.
Nice. No, that's awesome. I've actually found Chris through the Quantum TV drama. I don't know if you were aware of that or not, or if you know much about that, but
If it happened
that's how I
before
found
last
Chris.
year, I basically
Yes.
started in October 2023. So I'm only about I just
Okay,
came out a
okay.
year. I just got out of my rookie year of YouTube. So
Gotcha. Okay. Yeah, the Quantum TV stuff happened in like 2022 into 2023 kind of sorta, but it mostly happened in 2022. Long story short, Quantum TV was a copyright striker who was who is he's still around. He claimed that he was a Christian straight man. And he
One sec.
came under the radar. Yes.
Keep up the good work, EG.
thank you, Sarah Nona Little. I had a super chat, so I just wanted to make sure I got a chance to be heard.
Oh, awesome.
Sarah says, member for 5 months. Keep up the good work, EG. You know I will, Sarah. You know I will. All right, sorry. You can keep
Yay.
going.
No, you're good. You're fine. But Quantum also got under the radar of one Review Tech USA.
Oh, I feel
And
so weird about that
had a-
guy.
Yeah, me and you both, and I'll get into all of that too. But I kind of have a weird history with Rich, so I'll bring that up too. But anyway, that was right around the time that I actually started watching him a little bit more, was during that drama and how Rich was being treated and how Quantum was going after him and all that. But Quantum also went after Chris and anybody else who covered him, whether you were a big channel or whether you were a small channel. He went after you. He
That's a
didn't care.
win, though. When people come after you,
Mhm.
it's almost like you're like, yes, like
Mhm.
bring it, sucker. I was able to see. I'm so proud because I feel like I was able to get a W on Savannah when I first got started, who had 80,000 subscribers, and I think at the time when I put my video out, I only had like 500. And I was able to get a W, and I even was like, I'll be happy to debate you on it. She commented on it and everything. Which lended credibility to the fact that when I was like, yeah, I was one of the first people to respond to her video. It was like, oh, well, if you need proof, I mean, just go look at my video. I mean, you see her; she's one of the first comments on, and she never came back and deleted it, which I was shocked about, even though her video has been taken down about
Yeah.
Pierogi. So now, if you want to see
Yeah.
it, you're only gonna get my version, which is kind
Yeah.
of even funnier.
That is funnier. That woman, I swear. Well, she tried to come back a couple months ago by talking about commentary again and the commentary bros and all that other shit. And I don't know what caused it or what the subject was. I think it was just a random tweet or a random Instagram post. It wasn't a tweet because she got rid of Twitter soon after she got bodied to death. She got some attention when she made that post about commentary bros and shit like that or whatever. But
yeah, she's
I
been
gotta
pretty
give-
salty since then. She puts it in every one of her
Yeah.
videos, a shot at the commentary bros.
Yeah, it's ridiculous, but anyway. But with Quantum, and that's how I found, like I said, that's how I found Kristen Ark. And I also found another creator who I adore and I love, Minxie1 is another one that I found too, through the Angara of the Rage. Those three are the three of them like kind of came up together in a way because they all were, covering Quantum and dealing with Quantum and all that other shit. So, in a nutshell, Quantum would, and he also went after other smaller channels too, that I can't think of right now off the top of my head, but the main three that how I found through Quantum was Kristen Ark, Gara, and Minxie. And, yeah, that whole drama was insane too. That was nuts. He's a piece of work. Apparently he's still on TikTok or will no longer be on TikTok depending on if the ban happens or not.
Mm-hmm.
We'll see. But yeah, that's where he mainly ran to was TikTok, and it's cringe as hell.
Well, they might not keep that for long because I just made a short about that today. Like all these people are like, oh my God, they're banning TikTok. So all of us Americans are joining Red Note, which is the Chinese version of TikTok. And like I'm finding all these other ones of the girls that are from China who are actually on Red Note and like, well, we're kind of worried about, all these Americans coming on to our private thing that we've had that was a good thing here, and you guys we're literally talking about science and improving manufacturing, and then these Americans are gonna come on here and start doing dance moves. It's like it's not exactly gonna, I don't think they're excited for it. Let's just put it that way. But do you think TikTok's actually going to get banned, or do you think they're going to end up keeping
I
it?
don't know. Because that's something that they've been trying to, or that the government, I should say, has been trying to do now for, for at least a year or two now. Or even when, I think even back when TikTok first became a thing, which was like during 2020, I believe, 2021, they've been trying to get rid of that or trying to regulate it or whatever that they've been trying to do now for like ever. I don't know if it'll happen or not. Apparently Mr. Beast is going to offer to buy it or something. I don't know if that will go through or not. Who knows?
Yeah, but I don't think they're actually going to. I don't
idea.
think China wants to sell it because it's still really popular all over the world, not just America. Obviously, America's like their biggest clientele, but I don't think it's going to disappear from Europe or unless they follow suit with it.
I don't know. Well, I also think though too, what they could do and what they have done is they've regulated it and they've made it more friendly than what it was initially. Because when it first launched, all you would see was like all sorts of different wild shit, like sexual stuff or violent stuff.
Oh, that's
or whatever.
Instagram now. You've been on Instagram lately?
Yeah.
Oh my God,
No,
dude.
I have not.
Instagram has become a freaking wild west. I remember we did a stream where it was we did going through my Instagram algorithm rabbit hole to see where it ended up. I got banned off of Twitch in like the first hour for 30 days from the stuff.
No way! I was going to ask you, how did you get banned off of Twitch?
Yeah. So I watch a lot of really crazy shit, and we were watching these videos at meetups, like car meetups, where they would do like the donuts and stuff. And I was pointing out to the chat that watch these car meetups. Like I feel like these cars are actually targeting the people that are watching them do the burnouts, which they are. They're like these cars are targeting people to hit with their cars, and of course, like Twitch. That violates Twitch TOS because I'm watching someone basically hit by a car, even though it's kind of funny and it almost kind of looks like a fail, even though there's some versions of that are just absolutely terrible. Like the car drives up onto a group of people and then the people are like stuck under it. But yeah, I can understand why they did it. So maybe I don't watch Instagram on your Twitch account, log off before you go looking into that stuff. YouTube.
Fair.
But you can't see X. I can't even go on X and go through my algorithm on X because like a boob could pop up, because nudity is still allowed on X. So you got, it's like, all right, well that I learned the hard way that you can't do those types of videos. But TikTok, you can. That's why a lot of people will do TikTok React videos because you can just scroll through there and you don't have to worry about like a boob popping out or someone getting hit by a car or
True.
something.
Fair.
But
Fair. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know if it'll happen or not. Who knows? We'll just have to sit back and see what ends up happening. Who knows? Because it's supposed to be this Sunday. Is when it's supposed to be banned. Who knows? I don't know.
see, Boogie
I
says
have
that
no
he thinks
idea.
it would be good for them to be banned, and I'm conflicted because on one hand I'm like, okay, well that would definitely bring a shit ton of people over to YouTube Shorts, which would probably give us more audience
That's
over
true.
here. But at the same time, you're also bringing an army of creators too that are coming from TikTok, and then now as hard enough as the competition is over here on YouTube, it's about to get a lot harder. But I also think that YouTube's interesting in that YouTube is one of the hardest platforms, I think, to develop a following on because the quality of the content is so high now. And TikTok is like, oh, if you do a good dance or you just happen to, go around and meet a couple people or you do follow for follow long enough, you can build a like 100,000 follower channel, no problem. Just doing follow for followers. And I mean, that's how I built, like, I got up to like 3. I was doing that for a while when I first got started, like, getting interested in influencing. I was like, my friend Nicole from South Korea was showing me how to do follow for follow, use lives to get followers. But none of these people actually cared about what I was creating. They only cared.
Well, would you look at that? Someone's guilty of being
One sec.
total badass. Chick Nugs approves this message.
Daddy Scambait super chatted $2. Cool stream EG. I got a dip love all.
Thank you, DSB. I appreciate you, brother. Thank you for hanging out with us. We'll be wrapping up pretty shortly. But yeah, it's just like it was too manufactured. Like I knew exactly how to get followers, but I wasn't getting them because my content was good. I was getting them because I was following them, and then they would follow me back. You know what I mean? It's
Right. Yeah. Yeah. And that's what I didn't want to happen when I first started streaming. I wanted to build my audience. Yeah, did I have a couple of people that did follow me again from different creators and stuff that I followed? Yes. And some of them have been literally with me since day one, and I love them to death for it. And I think that they're nuts. But that's besides the point. But I also wanted to organically build my audience from that, right? Like and it just so happened to work out that way for me. And since then I've been lucky enough to grow into, what I am now, which is I'm very thankful for. And for whatever reason y'all put up with me, I have no idea why, but you guys put up with me and I appreciate it. And yeah. So.
I think it's great though. Like aside from like a few random trolls that always end up finding their way into here, I think our communities are exactly alike. I think that they're very similar in that, like,
I agree.
We attract pretty level-headed, chill people who aren't like coming online just to, cause or complete chaos in people's streams, and they actually enjoy, the conversation, and they enjoy like humanity and not being a degenerate, which is fine. I mean, don't get me wrong. Sometimes I like when trolls come in because it can create content. Technically, not when I have a guest, because I don't want anybody in my chat insulting you, because like I said before, I have ruffled some feathers these past 2 weeks. So we have gotten more trolls in here than we're used to getting. But when it's just us, we love it. It is so much fun. But
oh yeah, I would be the same way.
Like we always
depending on how the troll was. If it was somebody that I didn't know, then I would be like, okay, what are they doing? And if they're okay, if they're like lightly trolling and just, poking fun or whatever, I'm like, okay, they can stay. But thankfully, very rarely, I've ever had any like vicious trolls or anything like that. I haven't really had anything like that happen, thankfully. But yeah, I get what you mean.
Oh yeah, if somebody comes in and says something like terribly racist or hateful, they immediately get banned. But if they're first off, if they're funny, that they get to stay. Like if they're actually making us laugh, we don't, I usually will let them stay. But if they're just coming in trying to derail the stream, I usually will kind of just let them go. And then we usually end up trying to be as nice as we possibly can, because it makes them feel really awkward. Like my whole chat will start being like, thank you for coming. We're so happy you're here. We love you. Like, just remember. And then it's like, how do I call this guy a prick
I would
after
leave.
that? Yeah,
I would leave.
I'm
Yeah.
just gonna probably go because now I just look like a complete asshole. The fact that the whole chat's like welcoming me and I'm over here just being, Scrooge. But it's fun. It's fun to come up with different ways to mess with them. But it does keep things entertaining. So
Well, and also if you mess with them, if you poke fun and you mess with them back, then they're usually like, okay, I'm not going to mess with you. Or if you ignore them, right? You can just completely ignore them and like, you know what, I'm not going to give you the time of day, and then they'll eventually stop. But what I've learned about trolls to a certain degree, not all of them are the same way. They don't operate the same way.
yes,
But
you're right.
if you give them enough attention, then they can take it and run with it. They can either use it for good or they can use it for evil. It just depends. There are some that do both.
Yeah, if like we're having a
It's
slow,
just-
if we're having a slow stream without a whole lot going on, sometimes I'll be happy a troll comes in because I'm like, okay, well here we get to have some fun now. But you're right though. Like sometimes if we're like in a good conversation and then people want to come in and be, I know what they're looking for. Like I know exactly what they want.
Yeah.
They want me to spurg or to see if I'm insecure, or. Which would be funny for content for me to be like, yeah, what are you talking about? I'm nothing like that. I don't look nothing like Thor. Wait, what are you talking about, man? Commentary Jesus? Really? Really? Oh,
I get called Sam Hyde?
yeah,
What?
yeah. Well,
Yeah.
I take that as a compliment, but because usually the people who come in and say that are people who are like Sam Hyde fans. Which is, and they look at that guy like he's freaking Jesus.
You do have Sam Hyde vibes. You sure do.
I am not. I mean, I'm very nice, but I have noticed that
yes.
I tend to. I mean, it's not like Sam's a mean guy. He's just, he's just confused.
no.
He's a confusing fella.
He's very, yeah, I'd agree. And again, in the short amount of time that I've known of him, I only knew of him through Fish Tank. That's how I heard of him initially. But I know that, again, he's had a long-standing history with the internet and shit like that, and the whole creator clash thing that happened with iDubbbz. I had no idea who iDubbbz was either. No clue.
Yeah, wow. He was a big deal. He was back with like Leafy and all them guys. Like,
yeah, no, I had no idea. I don't know who Leafy is still to this day. I have no idea. Who's another one that I didn't know? Floozy.
Oh God,
Floozy I didn't know either.
It's so funny. I did videos like half these guys. I was talking to Billy the Fridge about Leafy because he was telling me about the last time he saw Leafy. He was like, "Yeah, Leafy backed up into a police car, and it was the last time I talked to him at a party." And he's like, "I've never talked to him since."
Oh,
and I'm
God.
like, "Wow, that just should show you." But Leafy's like a millionaire, so he could probably just live off of whatever he made during his time on there. I'm
No.
not sure who Eric Wareheim is, JY, but if he's handsome, I'll take it.
Eric Wareheim?
Yeah, I'm not familiar with that name, but he says I look like
Here.
Eric Wareheim. I mean, we have the same first
I'm going to
name.
look that up. I'm going to look that up. Eric.
No worries, Zane. I know we're about to get wrapped up here anyway. That's because I'm pretty sure. I know you guys are gonna go watch Rewind.
Oh, yeah, you know him. Tim and Eric.
Oh,
You know
Tim and
that
Eric's
show,
awesome
Adult
show.
Swim? Yeah, that's Eric. Eric Wareheim is him. That's Eric.
Gotcha. Well, I could think of worse. I could think of worse people.
Yeah.
And they had like a similar, Sam Hyde's vibe where they're like chaotic sketch comedy and Eric
That show
Andre.
is something else.
Yeah,
Eric
$1 Million
Andre.
Extreme.
I love Eric Andre. Yeah, I love Eric Andre.
I do think
Yeah,
that Sam's like a
cool.
creative genius. He truly is, and I think that he's just misunderstood. Like his art form is, but I think that he deserves. I think he does get a little bit suppressed by the YouTube algorithm because of the alt-right claims, which pretty much mean nothing these days. Because apparently anybody who disagrees with anything that anybody says is alt-right in some people's eyes. I'm sure a lot of people would probably consider me alt-right, which I couldn't be further from because
Really?
I have no because again I criticize. All right, so I'll tell you I'm gonna be honest, K-Huck. I thought half the reason you wanted to reschedule was because of the shit that was going on with me and Ethan was online because I was
No!
I was criticizing him for when he did his transition. I was criticizing him for basically targeting, in his transition video, he's basically like, if you're out there struggling with depression, just know that it can get better if you decide to truly be who you want to are. Basically, like suggesting undertones of, hey, if you out there struggling, consider maybe changing your sex to maybe cheer yourself up. And I pointed that out. So of course everybody calls me transphobic and tells me, which is crazy because I start off the video literally saying, I hope that this transition truly makes Eden happy, which is good. You're not gonna get more compassion or empathy from most people online. I feel like I would have gotten less shit if I just came on and was like, fuck this guy, he's an idiot, he don't know what he's talking about.
Exactly.
But the fact that I said, I hope he's happy, they were almost like, oh, we can get to this one. And I'm like, no, you're not going to get to me. But
No.
but I think that though
I
now,
didn't have any idea about that.
I
No.
think
I
it's
had no
gonna
clue.
I think it's gonna bother them more now that I'm being somewhat empathetic, but at the same time critical, because I think they're like, well, we can't have this guy out
Oh,
there.
yeah.
How can we get him? He just said he hopes that he's happy. Like how do we take this guy down?
Right. No, I get it. And listen, I don't listen. I've said this before and I'll say it again. Whatever people want to believe in and whatever their opinions are, they are their opinions. No one can change them, or some people can maybe open up their mind a little bit more to whatever the subject matter may be. Who knows? I don't know. But it's like I said, I don't hold people, I try not to judge people too much when it comes to like what their ideology is, if it's different than mine, or maybe we're on the same level with some subjects but maybe we differ in others. Who knows? I don't know. I try my best to keep an open mind when it comes to certain subjects like that. Politically, I've never really said where I lie because truthfully I don't even know. I couldn't tell you.
And that's probably the reality for most people. I mean, you could.
Yeah, I couldn't tell you.
Here's the one thing we know for sure. All right, is that you can have two people who believe completely different things and both be good people. Like it's not.
Exactly.
I think that's where we get so screwed. Is the fact you go, oh, what, you believe in this? Well, you're evil. It's like, no.
But it's also, yeah, exactly, and that's where the extremism comes from, and that's where the disconnect comes from too. Is that you have people that react in extreme manners like that to where like you don't even want to talk about anything. Like what? Why would you want to have a conversation with somebody that's going to react that way, or potentially react that way, whatever happens. But with me, I've always been, pretty much an open book when it comes to how I operate, what I think, how I feel, whatever may happen. I don't hold anybody accountable for their political beliefs. I've never done that, ever.
Yeah, and it's
we'll
stupid.
never do that.
It's stupid too.
Yeah, it's
cool anime girls.
I will
I
never do
live
that.
I live near a hospital, so you'll hear a lot of ambulances going by. My neighbor actually had the ambulance come here last night.
Oh no.
We were very worried for them.
Ooh.
But
Ooh, yeah, I've had that happen quite a bit with our neighbor that lives almost across the street from us. The ambulance sadly has had to come for them numerous different times too.
it sucks.
But
You don't want to see that.
Well, I want to say that they're in their 80s, maybe a little bit younger. I'm not sure, honestly. But yeah, so we try to keep an eye on them when we can.
Well, that's
So,
good.
Yeah, I understand.
I think that's where we'll probably wrap up. I appreciate everybody coming back from the original downstream. Sorry
Yes,
that
yes,
happened. I know that kind of.
That's okay. That's all right.
I know it kind of threw off. Well, I'm apologizing to the chat too. I think it threw off a little of the momentum we had going there. But then again, we also got a bunch of fresh new trolls in here when we restarted. So
Very true.
so you got to appreciate
Very
that.
true.
Is there anything you want to plug, K-Huck, before we log off?
Yeah. Just follow me on Twitter, either KHuck1013 or KHuckcast. I will subscribe to my channel if you're wanting to. It is the KHuckcast at the KHuckcast. I do not have any planned streams for the rest of the week. But next week, though, I will see about having potentially you either next week or when we can. Hopefully, here in the next week or so, or whenever you're available.
Yeah, for sure.
And also, my plan is to also have at some point next week beetle pins.
Ooh, and now you can get Moreau anytime you want because you met him.
And I can see about getting him around. Yeah.
Good.
I don't know if he will or not. I don't know.
He will. He loves coming on and talking to new people. It's like his favorite thing to do.
But I mean, he can if he wants. I'd be open for it. But I just, you know what, with him, here's the thing. I'm not necessarily against reaching out to people wanting to talk because I do it all. I've done it all the time. I do it all the time. The what's they can say no, okay, and you move on.
Yeah.
But I've, like when I reached out to Bo Blacks and to Willie Mack, they both were generous enough to come on, and Willie Mack's been on twice, and it's been amazing each time. And I'm like, what are you doing here? Like, what?
I know. I
Here?
asked him to come on, and he just left me on red. So. Maybe next time. Maybe next time you talk to him, be like, "Yo, that EG guy's cool."
I could, yes, I'll do that. Yes, yeah. If I ever get a chance to, yes, absolutely.
I had so many good guests lined up, and then they all just randomly dropped off the face of the earth. So I was just kind of like, "Okay, well, that's cool." But again, I'm starting to change up my. Well, again, it doesn't really matter because my content's still going to stay the same as it's been on where this video is going to go. But on where it's being streamed currently is kind of moving in a different direction towards content, more movie-based shit. But make sure you guys go subscribe to Later. If you like this style of content, make sure you guys go subscribe to Later with Lately, which is my second channel, which is where all these streams go. It's not monetized yet, which is why I'm streaming here instead of there. This channel is going to mostly be like movie reviews, TV shows, current events, stuff like that. But Later with Lately is going to be much more broader, like ongoing topics, much more current eventy. Well, K-Huck, thank you so much. I appreciate you coming and hanging out. Any last words?
Oh, thank you. No, thank you for having me on. I appreciate you, sir. I knew that this was going to be fun, and I was right. This exceeded my expectations. This was really a lot of fun. I appreciate it. You are welcome anytime on my channel, of course, and I will see about having you on and returning the favor, and we can continue this wonderful conversation.
Yeah, I feel like you're one of those people. There's a couple people who I've talked to, like Dan Frampton, who I feel like I could just, and Raymundo, who I feel like I could just talk to forever, and that's why eventually you got to be like, okay, I think we've done enough. I think we're going on almost like 4 hours of chatting at this point, so it's like, all right, yeah, we got to save some for the future. We can't literally cover any, and we haven't even dived into any topics yet. Like that's the crazy thing. This was just the initial hello. So imagine what will happen when we actually have something to talk about.
Bruh, yeah. Oh, God, be prepared. When you come on my channel, we're probably going to be talking for hours, too, I bet. I guarantee it, yeah. It will happen. But thank you again, EG. I appreciate it. Thank you, chat, for coming out tonight. Go sub to EG. Go show him all the loves. And I will talk to you again soon, sir. Thank you again.
All right, K-Huck, thank you.
Bye.
All right, everybody. That was K-Huck. I kind of figured we were gonna have a conversation like that because she's a lot like me. You know, we like to talk. We like to really, break down topics very thoroughly. So, it kind of went exactly how I expected because you know me, guys. We tend to always find something to talk about on this channel, and K-Huck and I think it helps too that our communities are so similar and that everybody's just so chill, laid back, and cool. I think that helps a lot. So I saw a lot of new names in the chat tonight, and I know a lot of you guys came from K-Huck, so I appreciate y'all being here. We stream Tuesdays and Thursday nights, so if you guys are ever free and you want to come hang out and K-Huck's not streaming, come hang out with us. We're a very chill, laid back group. As you guys can see, it seems like a lot of y'all were getting along in the chat tonight, so much appreciated, and I look forward to showing up on K-Huck's stream and continuing this conversation. With that said, I need to go spend some time with my fiance before I get kicked out and sleeping on the couch. I'm sleeping on the couch tonight. But anyway, guys, much love to you guys, and I'll see you guys very soon. Take care. Peace.
EG Lately.